think. Yes, folks.
Hello.
Welcome to the eModels Workbench Wednesday Live, where you can be in with a chance of winning one of these, folks, because it is draw day, where you can be getting one of these and you can end up building along with us too. So keep an eye out, folks. Keep an eye out. But welcome to emodels.co.uk Workbench Live with me, Colin, Festa 67's workshop, and the guru himself, the Foxykins. Hello, mate. How are you doing?
I am fine and dandy. I have a tiny little graze on my thumb there.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right, which I caught on the garden gate when I was closing it.
Yeah.
And I have never actually realised how awkward it is to have even the tiniest of grazes on the knuckle of your thumb there, because that comes into contact with everything.
All the things, does it?
I did that 5 days ago and it keeps just... I can't get rid of it.
Bless you.
I don't know.
So, yes, let's have a quick looky-loo to see who's in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Gemma is in, saying hi, Fox and Colin. I'm picking up an echo. Have you got your tablet volume on?
No.
Peter Davey, eye holes are prepared. Hello, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
He says, did enjoy the workbench meanderings muchly last time out. No worries, mate. Andy McLeish says, Baneblade, the MBT, so elusive. They made lots of them. I know they did,
Massive
mate.
big tank.
He says, hello, Messrs. Fox and Festa. See what he did.
Granville.
Peter Davey says, good evening again. Hello, Peter. Andy Preston is in, says, hi, everyone. Hello, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
EC Idaho is in, says, hi, all. Hello, EC. How you doing, mate?
Evening.
Rob Taylor's in, says, good evening, all. Hello, Rob. How you doing? Retro Rabbit says, hi, kids. Still at work, but I'm here, sort of. Oh, bless you. Gemma says, hi, Andy, P, EC Idaho, and Rob. Yeah, I think the echo's gone now, mate.
I haven't done anything.
No, that's all right, mate. I'm just letting you know. EC says,
cool.
hi, Gemma. EC Idaho says to Andy. McLeish says, I am here doing adult things in the kitchen. Now I'm worried.
Ooh, steady now. Steady.
EC says, hi to Colin and Fox. Adam is in, says, evening one and all. Hello, Adam. How you doing, mate?
Hello.
Kipper's in. Matthew Wald says, evening, ladies.
Hey, Kipper.
Hello, mate. KDL Varix is in, says, good evening.
Ooh.
Good handle, mate. Hello, mate. Welcome aboard.
Good evening. Hello. Welcome aboard.
Jeff Light is in, says, good evening. Cole Fox and everyone in the chat. Hello, Jeff. Love to you and Maggie, mate. Hope you're both doing well. So, Mr. Guru.
Hello. I did turn my earpiece down a little bit. Maybe it was a bit too loud and being picked up by the
Yeah,
microphone.
it might
perhaps.
well have come through like that, mate. Because
I was doing a TED.
Yeah, it was. It was classic TED syndrome. I thought either you had an earbud hanging down or it was too close. But yeah, because I've got quite a deep, loud voice and I could just hear myself. And
Was it like a really tiny echo?
Yeah.
I suddenly realised that you're a bit loud in my ear, and I'm like, oh, maybe the microphone's picking up the earpiece.
yeah,
so
I
just turn
don't
it
have
down a bit.
any. I pull my USB off my speakers before I go live every stream. So all I have is my mic and my headphones, and I make sure that both headphones are firmly in my lugs.
Yes.
So how you
So
been?
suddenly, I've not been too bad as usual. I was hoping to have lots of things done in the last week or so, and totally didn't. Never mind.
Kevin Stevens is in, says evening. Colin Fox, all in chat land. Oh, mate, what have we got planned for this week? I kind of have had a bit of a spray, as you can see. I got the can of red oxide out and had a spray, and I've also been
Looks like a mighty hammer.
been doing the magnetising
Oh, magnets! How do they work?
of things, and also did my accessories sprue as well. So they're all painted with a bit of red oxide primer.
Have you got a specific reason for using that colour, or is it just the primer that you had? Or
It's primer that I have, mate.
yep.
To be honest with you, mate, I've got 3 other cans of Citadel primer somewhere in here.
Now, see, in reality, in real life, a lot of tanks are primed in real world with red oxide primer.
Exactly. I mean, for me, you know, as a rusty base layer, it might come into its own later on. So I might be impressed with myself that I did it red oxide, or I might hate it. I don't know.
It's a great colour, primer colour for tracks, if not for anything else.
Yeah.
If at the very least, yeah.
Absolutely. So
you might find it kind of useful.
Yeah. So, for me, it was just getting it in one colour so that I can see how it's come. And I must admit, the bolts and all of that I've come out really well. They've blended in quite nicely. So, what have you been up to with yours, mate? What's your plan?
Well, as of last week, I've not finished building yet. I've got the front turret that's on the front of the glasses plate done. We've got the big volcano cannon, earth shaker cannon, whatever it is. I've still got lots of greebles to put on the body. The turret is pretty much, it's not done, but the turret is pretty much almost done. We've got the removable commander with a magnet, so he can... Oh, I love that noise. I replaced the missing ammo can lid on the big heavy stubber, and I sealed the bottom of the heavy stubber magazine box because it's hollow.
You're good, you are.
And I had to super glue the little pintle on there again because the gun kept coming off. It's like, it's a very weak joint on there. So other than that, there's a few greebles to put on that. There's greebles to put on this. But the main thing for today is sponsons. I've got to make it sponsons.
You're not far off, really, then, because you've been beating yourself up a little bit, ain't you? Oh, I'm behind.
I've got to do exhaust as well. No, I'm not really that behind. It'll go slower now because I never enjoy making... I don't know why, but I never enjoy the sponsons.
You don't enjoy the buildy stage, do you?
Not normally, but for some reason the sponsons just make me go, It's like when you've spent like a week building a nice Gundam and then you have to make all the weapons and you're like,
you start losing the will to live, don't you?
Yeah, but it won't take long. They're easy to make, it's just I don't know why. So I shall be doing sponsons tonight to start with, I think. I think that's my next step anyway.
So... yes, folks, we'll be doing the draw at some point for the for the winner of the Baneblade. So we're not going to do it straight away because everyone will go there.
No. But if you haven't put a comment on last week's video, make sure you go and do it now. And basically what you need to do is put down what you would call, if you had a Baneblade in real life, you had one in your back garden, what would you call it? If you had a Baneblade, because they all have names on there. There's a nameplate for this kit. So if you had it, what would it be called? What would you call it? Like if you were in NAFO, you'd probably call it the Super Bonker 9000. So there you go, a little bit of politics there, but we'll move on. But yes, it's...
I saw what you did there.
Yeah, but what would you call yours? So all you need to do in the comments, go into last week's video and put a comment down saying what you would call, what your name would be for your tank. And we will pull a winner later on. So to everyone in the world, everywhere, except North Korea and Antarctica and, I don't know.
And all the other places that we can't think of.
Yeah, that we can't send, sort of, or too expensive to send things to. Space, if you're in space, you're a bit knackered. It's not going to happen. Because it's over £1, then it's what, $500,000 a pound if the typical sending things to space cost, doesn't it? I don't know.
Something like that, yeah.
Yes. So, now you've been having thoughts about colours for your tank, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've been deliberating.
I have got a rough idea, and it's funny, all the colours I've been thinking of I need to get now because, I may not have them in me, So, don't be like Festa. Don't sit there thinking of paints and then realise you haven't got half of them. Yeah.
Yeah. You've come up with a colour scheme independent of what actual paints you've got, haven't you, basically?
Yeah, it's typical me, isn't it? Would you have me any other way?
No. Apologies. I shall just step away for one moment. I'll be back with you in a sec.
Paul D. Tommaso is in, says hello, people. Hello, Paul. How you doing, mate? Love to you and Dawn. Peter Davies laughing out loud. Yeah, we are absolutely useless sometimes, Peter, mate. Yeah, don't be like us, mate. Be intelligent because we're just idiots, mate. Retro says, I can send you to space for £37.24, but you ain't coming back. I see what you did there. Yeah, I'll pay for that ticket then. See what I did. Yeah. I'll tell Fox that I've booked him on the next flight. He'll enjoy that.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Make sure my wolf wasn't falling down the stairs or anything.
You don't have to apologise. You never have to apologise, mate. Real life and all of that.
Yes, you've been having colour thoughts. I must admit, I've not really... I've had rough ideas of mine, but I've not really fully come up with the colour scheme of it yet.
Yeah, it's a bit urban dazzle is the best way of describing it.
Dazzling.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how it comes out. But it's like anything, we look forward to the job, but we don't necessarily enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
So,
I must admit that with the Baneblade, for me, the deep joy of the Baneblade for me is the painting, because there's just so much to paint and weather.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because they are like ancient, venerable tanks. They're going to have so much weathering on them. You're not going to do a factory fresh Baneblade because that's just crazy talk.
A Baneblade.
Baneblade.
Yeah.
Okay, that's first time tonight one of us has said Baneblade.
Yeah, we do it on a regular basis. Yeah.
On a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah, we have one job there, don't we?
Yeah. We set ourselves very low standards, which we often fail to achieve.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to start with greebles and exhaust pipes tonight.
You mean to say, hold up a minute, you mean to say we've got standards? When did that happen?
Well, yeah. I'm not talking like British kite market or anything like that.
No, but, I'm just shocked at the mere thought of associating us two with standards.
I mean, let's not go too excited. Even British Leyland had standards, so it's not saying much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a great thing, is it? Now,
no, not really, no.
I have a choice here, you see, because on the back of the Tankulon here, we have the handy-dandy sticky-out engine area.
Oh, right, yeah.
Now, they do two things. First of all, they give you all this wonderful, cooling fan detail in this little area here. And it's really nice in there. And then what they do, and I'm just getting it off the sprue now, what they do is they put all that detail in there. And then what they do is they give you this thing here, which covers it up perfectly and it doesn't have any holes in it.
Yeah.
So you don't need to paint, unless you want to have it open, of course. You've got the option. But with the engine, they actually give you, I'll cut it off the sprue and I'll show you. Boop, boop. Now this is the part when I make a Baneblade that I always forget. I always prime it, and I always give it a base coat, and then I completely forget to do anything else with it till I finish the rest of the tank and go, oh crap, I haven't done the engine cover. You get this lovely little grill thing here that you can see through. So you can have it closed, and you can still see the engine through it, or you can have it open.
Oh, you're good.
So I shall be painting the engine details, and I won't glue this onto the very end, and I'll decide at the very end whether it's going to be open or closed. I might do that. You see, you can do the same with that, but it's got vents there, but there's nothing. It's just solid on the inside. So
this is why you're a guru, you know.
Yeah, shut up. So there's no real benefit to having this one open because it doesn't look like holes. It's just solid. So that one will be closed, but this one we shall decide. But I always forget to paint that to the very end, and I sit there and I go, "Oh, I forgot that thing again." Why I order?
Yeah, there's always something we forget to paint.
Yep.
We had it with the Orc Stomper, didn't we? It was like, yeah, because we made that really great error of judgment. We put the arms on.
Yeah,
and then spent the rest of the build bemoaning the fact that we had put the arms on.
Yeah, if you ever make an Orc Stomper, it's a simple build if you kind of can eventually translate the instructions, but don't glue the arms on. You'll rue the day, trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, don't be like Festa and Foxx.
No. I mean, you don't want the restraining orders anyway, so definitely don't be like Festa and Foxx.
I saw what you did.
Did you see what I did there?
I did. I am very proud of you.
Good lad.
That's in theory.
Any of those
should now stay in place like that and come off when I remove
stay in
gun.
place.
That's the theory. So I'm going to let that.
I've got that sprue. I don't need anything off it. SpongeBob. I've got to put these things. I've got to put my headlights on. Not done that
made
yet.
of sponge.
The beauty with the Baneblade as well, and don't forget, folks, you can win one of these absolutely free. Once you built a few of them, you kind of get to the point where you're not really going through the instructions, not for the main build, because you always want to remind yourself, but things like all the greebles, you get to the point where you just kind of abandon the instructions.
Yeah, because you kind of remember, can't you, from the previous ones?
Yeah, you're like, I've done them all now, So I'm just going to cut all these. I don't think I'll need all these bits, but I'll cut them all off anyway. So I'm getting all the plating off for the track guards. And I shall think long and hard about exactly where to put the sponsons at the back. Wait, did I just answer my own question?
You did. I am so proud of you.
Basically, if you put your sponsons at the front, you're an idiot. It's not
Yeah, they don't look right in the pictures, do they, at the front? It's like, why did they...
I shall just be back in 1 second. Do apologise.
Yeah, it's a bit bish, mate. It really is. EC says I pulled names from my favourite book series. Good man. He's given a name in last week's video. Happy days, mate. Like I say, you know, I send my best wishes to all of you that have entered, and wish you all the best of luck. You know, you got to be in it to win it. And like I say, it's an 80 quid Baneblade at the end of the day. So yeah, I'm quite pleased. You know, it's very kind of the guys at eModels to do that for us. So whilst that's drying, I'm going to have a quick looky-loo at what I can do with some of these bits, because I've got my bits on the bench, Andy. See what I did. Because I want to try and get some of the rust base down before I put my base layer down, and then I can use the masking fluid to expose it later on. So I don't want to go overboard, because this is an Alk at the end of the day. You know, Alk you can exaggerate, but this is, for me, slightly different, because I can't do my usual slapdash Alk paint jobs. So
no. You can if you want to.
No, it just wouldn't look right.
Now, did you buy that masking fluid with your own hard-earned money?
Yeah.
So you own it, don't you?
Yeah.
Does that make it a Festus fluid?
It is a Festus fluid. I see what you
You're
did.
going to apply Festus fluids to your Baneblade?
Yeah.
I don't want to go any further than that.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
We're moving on now. Mama Wolf says, hello and hugs to everyone in chat.
Hello, Mum.
She obviously sent hugs to you as well.
Yeah, not just she can hear me because you've got your headphones on, but...
Yeah, and she's deaf as a post anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, right, what's them's? Got two round things. Oh, they're little grenade smoke launchers. I've got my ladders to do. Got my exhaust pipe. I've got loads of stuff to do.
Look at you with your ladders and your exhaust pipes.
I could spend all night just cleaning up bits.
AC says, if I win, laugh out loud and won't. But I see a Vietnam-era US Army Baneblade. You never know, mate. You never know. Yeah. You might win it.
Yeah.
You know, don't underestimate yourself,
tickles
mate.
Your fancy. Yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, even if, because I did have a feedback from someone saying, "Oh, Warhammer," and it's like, yeah, but don't think of it like that. It's a dirty, great big tank, and if you like armor, it's a dirty, great big tank. You know, you can do whatever you want with it. It's just a dirty, great big tank, and also it's free. So
exactly,
just knock yourself out. It's a beautiful kit to build. It's really fun to build because it's dead simple, straightforward. It's not particularly complicated. It looks mahoosive. Da-da-da-da-da. Not sure what to do with my aerials just yet. Whether to magnetise them or just glue them on.
Get your aerials here for £8
risk it for a biscuit. Do. Oh, I've got a slightly wonky area. It's been bent in transit, I think.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. I'll have to heat that and bend it.
Yeah, you don't want to.
I could just snap it. That'd be even easier. There you go. Do I need to do two aerials or one? Oh no, I've got to do two aerials. Oh well.
Starters, you mean? Go on. I've got a spare.
I think I've got some spares in my sprues.
Because I only did the one.
It looks like it's been a little bit damaged in transit, this one, so I'll have to get a spare one out. Or just do one aerial. We'll see. We shall see.
I am sure you will sort it out to your happier standard.
It'll be easily repaired if necessary. There we go. Get my little star. I love the way it's got like a
I'm assuming that's like a crank handle to start the engine.
Yeah, it looks.
Just in case.
Yeah, it just does look like it, doesn't it? It's like, yeah.
It's like you got a crank handle to start the engine of a tank that's the size of an office building.
Yeah.
That's just adorable. Cooey, Mr. Shifter.
See, that's such an Orc thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, why would they do that on the Baneblade? Why would they have such an Orky idea?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's always the slim chance that someone needs to get out, hoof it outside.
Yeah. Mind
It's
you,
like
it could be
saying-
looted, couldn't it? You never know.
It's like working in an office and the power goes off and you have to go around the back of the building and turn a crank handle.
Yeah. Athol's in, says, evening chat. Sorry for being
Evening.
late, but Beth decided she wanted an extra long walk, so he had to trot along behind her. Look at him with his trotting.
Trotting.
Yeah.
Right. Let's do a whole mess of cleaning things now. The exciting of cleaning things. Yes. This is what you come for, folks. Me nipping and sanding. I try not to nipple. If I can avoid it.
Okay,
At least
moving
not
on.
on an eModel stream, anyway. Stay on target. Stay on target.
Oh, mate, I am firmly looking at the post-it note.
Yeah, so, because I wasn't here when you said what you're going to do. What are you doing, Cole? What are you doing at the moment?
Me, I'm just stippling on some rhinoxide around some areas. Once
a
I've
very good
done
colour.
some rusting, I'll then put some masking fluid down. I shall spray it off air because we've done a compressor test earlier and both of us can be heard with our compressors. So it's not really fair on the viewers to sit there and hear the drone of a compressor going. So
No. I mean, I can't actually spray when I'm on a stream because I have to take apart half my desk.
yeah.
So it would just be no.
Exactly, and mine all plugs in just there, but it's it's just not great for the viewer. So
It's like, stand by while we can't talk to you and all you can hear is
yeah, it's not fair. So
or we turn our microphones off.
yeah, so that'll be getting based during the week, ready for next week. So I'll sit and do that.
Spraying's all right if you've got like 5 or 6 people in their stream. It's like that's because then it's only 1 or 2 of you. But when there's just 2 of you on a stream,
Well, it's
and you
only
have to
our
mute the
base
microphone.
layers that we need to airbrush. The rest of it is getting done with a paintbrush. So
yes, I might airbrush mine. I'm not decided yet. I'm still. I'm flip flopping like a flip flop at the minute. I'm flip flopping like who's that useless fish in Pokemon Magikarp. I'm flip flopping more than Magikarp. That won't mean anything to you, of course.
no, it means
The kids-
absolutely
the ki-
diddly squat to me.
The kids will be down with it though. I think right, I'm going to do this. Or I might do that. I'm not going to do this. I'm not even looking to see what colours I've got yet. So yeah, I'll try and go for an airbrush free. I might rattle cam. I'll rattle cam my primer.
Yeah.
And I might rattle cam my base coat once I've decided what colour scheme. If I was sensible, I'd do a base coat that starts with like Xandri Dust or Mechanica Standard Grey or something you can get in a base coat in a rattle cam. But I'm not usually that sensible, so. We shall see. But
Exactly.
these are all the options you've got, you see. You paint it however you want.
Loads of
your-
options.
Yeah, we can do pre-shading, we can do post-shading, we can do no shading, we could paint it in Games Workshop style, in realistic style, in cartoon book style, we could paint it like Picasso. We could paint it with half a potato and a dead cat.
Never met half a potato, but yeah.
Hello, I'm half a potato. Paint it like half a potato and a dead cat. I'm not going to mention names. We could go for subtle colour schemes, garish colour schemes,
Yeah.
mind-bending colour schemes.
Absolutely.
Paint it in the livery of the Partington Underwater Men's Bowls tournament team. Whatever you want.
Do what you like.
Yep.
Your Baneblade.
Right. I could do a Hello Kitty baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm having thoughts now.
I know what.
I said hello.
Yeah, I know something else you could do it as.
Go on.
What did you
Oh.
say? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking about the thing with the...
Yeah.
Oh, no. No. There's no actual colour scheme for that, though. But
Yeah, I know, but it's in your head now, isn't it?
I need to get you to 3D print a relevant thing at the right scale. That's not really going to happen, though. No, we won't do that. Hello Kitty. I could do a Hello Kitty one. I've got the Hello Kitty decals, more than many available. Then again, pink will definitely be an airbrush colour. So,
oh yeah,
at least the base coat will be. Bippity bippity bip. Now, don't forget, folks. I don't know if you've asked this already. I do apologise while I've been away.
I haven't.
But don't forget, folks. What's on your bench? What's in your... Well, I've only got one smoke thing. What's on your bench? What's in your belly? What did you have, or what are you having for your dinner?
Yeah.
And of course, what is your beverage of choice right now? What are you putting into your face mouth?
Exactly.
What's your bench and bed? What's your stuff then, Cole?
A cup of tea as usual, mate.
Cup of tea.
Yeah, I had AMRAP before we started. That's it, mate.
AMRAP. That sounds like some kind of American military vehicle. Yeah, I drive a M37 AMRAP.
Yeah, so yeah, I had AMRAP, and yeah.
AMRAP.
So yeah, it's a thing, isn't it?
I've done both my smoke launchers.
I don't know.
Yes,
Why
I
have
have.
you done both of your smoke launchers?
I've done both of them. I thought I hadn't, but I had. My beverage of choice at the moment is water, dihydrogen monoxide. Belly tonight was, well, Mama Wolf's not very well today, so I gave her 5-year-old's comfort food, which is basically tiger loaf. Right? Get yourself a sliced tiger loaf. It's a pre-sliced tiger loaf. It's like doorstep thickness.
Yeah.
Doorstop thickness. And I made her a couple of PBJs. Peanut butter and jelly, or peanut butter and jam. I can't say peanut butter and jam. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I know it's peanut butter and jelly is American, but couple of big thick doorstop PBJs. Thick non-butter, thick peanut butter and thick jelly jam. She was like, oh, nom, nom, nom. So I had that for my dinner as well. Because I'm 5.
She's got you wrapped round her little finger, your mum.
Yeah, absolutely. I said to it earlier on today, she was asking her how Festa was. And I said, he's doing all right, he's doing all right. I said, we were talking about something, and I said, well, Festa kind of considered you his second mum.
Yeah.
But don't tell your mother-in-law that.
That's dead, mate.
Oh, that's all right then. Phew. So I said, yeah, Festa kind of, you do know Festa kind of consider you his second mum. She went, oh, I said, that's only because he doesn't know you. And she went, yeah, if he knew me, he wouldn't say that.
Oh.
I said, yeah, because you're a pain in the bum. She went, absolutely. Bless her.
Yeah.
What's
Could be worse. Could be Mama Festa.
Oh, yeah. Well, I count Mama Festa as my second mum, so.
Yeah, it'll be bangers and mash day, won't it, Wednesday?
Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's a point.
Yeah.
Bangers, mash and beans. Gravy lake in the middle.
There's a distinct possibility that may happen.
Now, is it mash from potatoes, or is it actual smash mash?
It'll be mash from potatoes with a bit of Marmite in it.
Bit of Marmite in it,
yeah.
I found in the kitchen the other day an entire tub of smash that's only been used once, and it's still in date. And I'm like, mate, we need to have smash at some point.
Yeah. It's either a bit of English mustard goes in it, or a bit of Marmite, just to give it a little aftertaste.
I always put a little bit of mustard in there and heapings of butter, or non-butter alternative, but I didn't know about Marmite. I'll have to try that next time.
Yeah. You know me, mate. I'll put Marmite on everything.
That's because you're normal. Marmite is always the right answer.
Yeah.
Apart from with chocolate spread.
Yeah.
I've tried it. It wasn't too offensive, but it wouldn't be for everybody.
Yeah. Peanut butter Marmite is good as well.
Ooh, never tried that.
Yeah.
I was saying to Colin earlier on, it's like, I don't actually like peanut butter. I can't stand peanut butter, but I love peanut butter and jam. I don't know why. It just makes the peanut butter palatable for me.
Yeah.
So good old strawberry jam and PB. And it's one of the rare times I'll eat white bread. Because you can't have PBJ on brown bread. It just doesn't work. un-American or something. I don't know.
We've got some weird food tastes, haven't we?
Yeah, well, that's because we're like 5.
Yeah. Fish finger sandwiches is one of my all-time favourites.
I swear, when I was a kid, I thought I'd grow up eating cereal for my dinner every day.
Yeah.
I'd be like, when I get old and I've got a job and I have to go to work, I'm just going to eat cereal all the time because no one can tell me not to do that.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a life choice. It would have been. Potentially.
Oh, yeah, it works all day long, mate.
Yeah. That never happened, sadly. Let's have a look at chat. What's chat doing? La. I love how individual the Baneblades are, says Peter Davey. Well, there's 8 different types you can build in the box. So
yeah.
And you can, if you're building one to play in a game, you've obviously got to stick to certain things. If you're building one just for yourself, you can do whatever you want with it. You can build, like Colin did, all 8 in one, literally at the same time, or you can build a mixed match of different variants. Do what you want with it. Bobbins is in.
Hello, Bobbins.
He says, also, hello, chatters, Festa, and that other bloke. And he says, I'm here for the blame babe. Blame babe.
Blame babe. It's all about the blame babe.
Win yourself a blame babe.
Get your blame babe. Yeah.
You even got that wrong. Good girl, that's 2. That's both of us now. Athos says to me, Fox, is that music you released for free, perchance Iso Tomato? No, it's music I wrote and composed and performed. It's my music. I wrote it. I performed it. I wouldn't release someone else's music because that would be against copyright.
That's against the law, yeah.
Yes, it's illegal. No, it's my music. I wrote it. It's public domain. Treasure Island on the Amstrad. Wait, what? We're talking about video games? What?
Oh, I did,
Andy
mate.
McLeish, something. Rob, is he? What? Have I missed something? Hang on, wait a minute. Somebody mentioned something. And Rob says, don't forget to give this. He says, don't forget to give the stream a thumbs up. And Andy McLeish says, Rob, is that Dizzy? The his icon is Dizzy the Egg. Yes, it is. Oh, cool. They start about talking about vintage video games. Okay. I was like, what? It's difficult because we can't really see the thumbnails because they're tiny on our iPads. So.
Yeah, I can barely make them out.
Yeah. Muse says, pink and lavender Hello Kitty. It's in my mind. It's in my mind now. I've done the pink Hello Kitty Lehman Russ. So
you know you want to.
EC Idaho says, maybe not Hello Kitty, but cinnamon roll Baneblade. Rabbit says, dinner kebab from the Ministry of Kebabs, Benchams, bunny on a trike. That just sounds like gibberish, but we all know what every one of those words means. It's quite amusing.
Absolutely.
McLeish says, I had 2 egg, cheese and bacon wraps, beverages Capri Sun, diluting juice, had enough Monster today. Paul Di Tommaso is in and says, dinner, I have no idea yet, Bench, I'm doing some finished painting on a Cylon Raider.
Oh, nice.
Cylons. And it's the old Cylon Raider, the vintage style.
Yeah.
KDL Varick says, chicken doner meat and chips on the bench is a Skyline V-Spec 2. Ooh, shiny cars.
Oh, nice one.
EC Idaho has just found a spread called Cookie Butter and it's pretty good. No nuts. No nuts, please, we're British. Athol says, belly was roast pork sarnies with English mustard and salt to taste, washed down with a Black Joe. Bench awaiting delivery of a stand-up variable height table so I can straighten my back.
Oh, nice one.
EC has baked ziti in belly. I don't know what that is. It sounds
Mint.
East Asian. It sounds Asian, like Turkish perhaps. Ziti or Greek maybe. That's not the Asian, it's Greek. Mediterranean. It sounds Mediterranean. Baked ziti and belly bench Lego train engine shed. Peter Davies says, butties to the moon.
Get your butties there. Right for a pound.
Jeff Light says, belly earlier, chicken and mushroom sliced with crispy potatoes and baked beans, followed by a chunk of fruitcake. Bench, currently nout as I'm watching YouTube. Beverage, currently lemonade. I'm a secret lemonade drinker. That's chat up to date. Remember, folks, we have got the chat in front of us, so if you are watching and you want to join in the chat, please do. It gives us stuff to talk about, as you've just found out.
That was the best ever advert, wasn't it? The Arbites advert.
I'm a secret lemonade drinker.
Arbites.
Oh, yeah.
Arbites.
Don't forget, if you want to catch our attention, if you want to catch our attention in chat, You could try singing the R. White's Lemonade advert, or you can press the dollar symbol underneath the chat window to do a super chat, which pops it up in a coloured box, and we can't miss that. There's no way we can miss those comments.
Helps pay the Pete's yacht.
Yeah, it does helps pay for the yacht, the storage fee. I can't think of the word. The berthing fees for Pete's 3.5 foot yacht in Stoke Harbour.
Yeah.
At the Stoke Yacht Club. Or you can just make sure you put your comment in big fat capital letters so I have a chance to see it.
R. White's Lemonade.
I'm a secret. And that was written by, the name I've forgotten, but there's a guy who wrote pretty much any song in the 1980s on a British advert that sounded slightly rock, anything like that. He wrote all the songs and did all the voiceovers for so many adverts. He wrote the red car and the blue car. I can't remember his name though. He's still around and he's still doing it. It's like, really? Because
it's one of those iconic British adverts, isn't it?
Yeah. And they re-released that red car, blue car advert a few years ago. I think about 10 years ago. And he re-recorded it. And he still sounds the same. I can't remember his name. But you'd recognise his voice instantly, basically. Secret Lemonade. Well, that's displaced the song that was in my head, which I can't tell you what that was.
Did you do Jeff Light's Belly and Bench?
Yes.
You did. EC Idaho's Pasta with Rafts of Cheese. Peter Davey, Belly, Bratwurst, Chips and Beans, Benches, a Resin Battlefleet, Gothic knockoff, and I'm battling to put some LEDs in. There you go.
Battlefleet Gothic, there's a very vintage Games Workshop.
Yeah. Use some of him.
Yeah, no harm in doing them as resin knockoffs because you can't buy them. And that's proper old school Games Workshop. That unless I've read that wrong, but you know how I mispronunciate things.
No, resin Battlefleet Gothic knockoff. Yeah, no, they've not done a Battlefleet Gothic for a long time. It's like it's all the big capital ships in Warhammer that you'd never see on the tabletop game because they're like, hundreds of kilometres long, but it's like that, but it's on a tabletop. I think it was either that or they're all there's some kind of Warhammer thing where they're all sailing ships. I seem to remember as well, which is kind of weird.
Oh right, yeah.
I've never seen that. Do you know why I've never seen it?
Why?
Because I'm a secret lemonade drinker. That's gonna be it now, isn't it? We're just gonna. Welcome to R. White's unofficial R. White's fan channel.
Pete'll be going, why is that video not monetised?
Yeah, why am I getting all these copyright strikes? What? eModels, not only in association with UMP, but also in association with R. White's Lemonade.
Yeah.
Kate, you've just signed a contract, mate. We have to sing it on every show now. Sorry.
Yeah. People be going, hey, what? When? When did this all happen?
I didn't pay out for nothing, none either. No, what?
Yeah.
Tell Pete he spent money, it goes to a panic.
Yeah, that would be proper panic for Pete.
You're in the eModels accounts. If you go into eModels where the warehouse is, you've gone into the office at the back where they do the accounts because there's a defib unit on the wall. Just in case. Pete, I'm really sorry. What is it? I've got an invoice. Ah! Don't say that word. Well, invoice. Ah!
Yeah. Yeah, Pete, we got a tax demand. What? No. When did that become a thing?
I remember when I used to work. When I used to work in detailing, we had one supplier. I won't mention names, company names, but they supplied automotive and detailing products. They were quite big. They sounded a bit Italian. Some people might know who that is. Anyway, they were lovely people, and they used to supply us the 3M stuff and all this kind of stuff. And one day, this bloke walks into the shop, and my partner at the time, my sidekick, or the guy that paid me, we're no longer friends, but he was. This guy walked in, and the moment he walked in, you look at him and you think, "That's a tax man."
Oh, really?
This guy walked in and he says, "Hello, my name's such and such from the Inland Revenue, from Her Majesty's, from HMRC," and the blood
just drained from my mate's face, from my friend's face, because he's the owner of the company. He's like, because he's always joking about that, you know, and like fiddling the books and stuff. And it's like, I'm such and such from HMRC, blah blah. I've come to inspect your accounts on a random check. And my this guy, my boss was so terrified, and he started kind of sweating and going, and the guy went, "Not really. I'm from such and such. I've come to get your new order in."
Oh, brilliant.
He said, but everybody says I look like the tax man, so I thought I always play it when I meet a new client.
Oh, brilliant. That's gold.
And at that point, we liked him from that point. He said, no, I'm just messing with you. I'm such and such. I just like to mess with new clients. Because apparently I look just like the Inland Revenue guys.
Yeah, surprising how many people. It's like when you see people, they look in their mirror and they've got a copper behind them in the car. Suddenly they drive like they're taking their driving test, don't they? And it's like,
I bet the police get really fed up of being stuck behind people doing exactly 30 miles.
Exactly 30 mile an hour, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, 10 to 2 on the steering wheel. It's like mirror signal manoeuvre.
Because everybody's looking at them. Because they know the moment they turn off down a corner, that car will suddenly hit the floor. They know. Rob Taylor says, Bob Saker, that's it, sang the theme tune to Red Car, Blue Car. Yeah, Bob Saker, like, anything with a song in the 1980s, you can pretty much guarantee it was Bob Saker doing that with a voiceover.
Absolutely.
You'd recognise his voice straight away if he's doing a normal talking voiceover. It's just such a voice of the 80s, and he's still going.
Back in a sec.
Okay. So, yeah, Bob Saker, that's the one. Now, I have to report this, folks, because here at eModels Towers, we have a certain journalistic integrity, even though we've got no integrity and we're not journalists. Games Workshop are they make some of the finest plastic moulds, toolings that you can imagine. They do some incredible work on these kits. And I've just found one of my very rare ever bits of flash. I don't know if you'll see it on camera, but there's a tiny bit of flash on the top of that ladder there. And it's the thinnest of flash in the world, so I'm just going to... There you go, dealt with. And that's only about the third or fourth time I've ever found a bit of flash on a Games Workshop kit. They're that good. Like, that's the kind of thing you find on 90% of an Airfix kit, but yeah, Games Workshop kits are so good. So don't forget, if you've not already entered it and you weren't here earlier on, we are giving one of these Baneblades away. One of these big bad Baneblade bad boys. I won't say that again in a hurry. Big bad Baneblade bad boy. Try saying that quickly, go on.
No.
You're not stupid.
No, absolutely not, mate. You know me.
Yep. Yeah, so make sure you go and stick a comment on last week's video. It needs to be on last week's video, and it must be what you would call your Baneblade if you owned one in real life. If you had a real life Baneblade in your back garden, what would you call it? What nameplate? What would it say on the nameplate? I think we've got some other comments on there that aren't answering that. If we pull a winner, it's not the name of something, it's just a random comment. They won't win. We'll move on to the next one. Because there are some non-legal comments on there, like...
Baneblade.
Baneblade. Careful now. So you must put a name down for your Baneblade. If you don't, you won't win.
Exactly.
Ooh, got the sniffles. Got the sniffles.
Oh, Christopher's in. Says, evening, fellow modelers. Hello,
Evening.
Paul. How you doing, mate?
Yeah. Sniffle time. There goes the nose. Hey, I'll tell you what.
What's that?
I woke up on Sunday to a wonderful, wonderful, squishy, damp bathroom carpet. I was like, oh, joy, the radiator's knackered.
Oh.
The little turny valve on the side has started tiny leaks, so we got the gas man cometh on Tuesday. Came out on Tuesday. And I tell you what, it's going to take a few days to dry out, but damp carpet is not a good smell.
No.
It smells like something crawled under the floorboards and died.
We had it in the kitchen when the dishwasher, the washing machine, the ventos got blocked and it backed up and blew the water all over. And it was like, rip the carpet up and throw it out because it smelt like a 2,000-mile worn flip-flop.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully in the bathroom it's quite a small patch, so...
Yeah, and it was like, that's going to stink forever, so just rip it up. That's why we put the flooring down.
But the real pain with these guys is they fix the valve on the radiator and it's all fixed and now. Before it was just, they're so old, the radiators, that you can't really turn the valves on them. They just have them on.
Yeah.
You can't even see what the settings are anymore. So they fixed that, but in the process, they had to turn off the radiator. They've only got 2 radiators, turned off the one downstairs.
Yeah.
But they've kind of knackered the valve on that one now because it's so old.
Yeah.
The valve sits on the little square nut and turns, but it's sheared the plastic valve now. So you can't turn the radiator up or downstairs. It's just on, and it's on very feeble. So we'll have to get them out again at some point before winter. Replace the valve.
That's the thing with old houses like these, mate. Things do perish.
Well, I said to the guy, I said, this radiator is 35 years old. It's never been a problem. So it's just a little pipe from the valve, where the valve is, the little connection there to the little thin pipe. That's all it was. Little tiny leak. And at one point he said, we're draining the water out, but it's still coming. I think it's connected to your water tank in the loft. I said, dude, we had an immersion heater from 1937. That's been disconnected since 1985.
Yeah.
They hadn't turned the stopcock off.
Oh, dear.
Well, they turned off, we've got a switch on the wall that turns off the water, but it wasn't doing it fully, so they had to go and turn the physical stopcock off as well. Oh, well. And then they left and finished and left, and I had to go and run out of the house 5 minutes later with the 17-foot-long tube that they left in the bath. There you go, lads. You might want that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, always the way.
And then they also said, we fixed everything, but we can't get, we've set the boiler so it refills, but we can't get it to refill. It's at 0 bar. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll try fiddling with it later because it's got like a tricky switch on the bottom.
Yeah.
And it was the first time ever, because I figured it out and I fixed it and I went outside while I was in the van and said, I figured it out because they said, we'd not seen one of these boilers before.
Did you do a manly thing?
I did. I said, I figured it out. If you ever come across one of them combi boilers again, I said, turn it off and on again. So what do you mean? I said, I turned it off and turned it on and it suddenly said 1 bar. So it worked.
Reset itself,
yeah. Yeah, it was saying 0 bar and it's like, you turn it off and on again, dude. He went, okay. Also, here's your 35-foot-long hose, you spoon. I have to say, it was the weird, softest, floppiest hose I've ever handled.
That sounded so wrong. It really did. Tumbleweed. Anyway, did you see that goal, Carl? Yeah, no way.
For
was
those
that
watching
on
in black and white, I kind of realised what I said after I said it. So
makes a change for it not to be me, folks.
Yeah, I know.
I know. There's normally it's me that does all the faux bars, doesn't it?
Faux pas. That's a good word for you, faux pas, that.
That is, isn't it, eh?
Yeah. Are you still stippling in the corner there quietly?
I am beavering away, mate.
You're having a good old stipple.
I am, mate.
As long as you clean it up afterwards.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like I say, I've just random, because a lot of this isn't going to be seen anyway through the top coat, but if I do decide to go down the chipped route with it, I can expose some of it. Less is more.
Well, the thing is that, you've got a choice, because, like when I do my oak stuff, and this is more for the audience than you, because you know what I'm talking about, but when I do my oak stuff, I'll do all the rust stuff like you're doing there. I'll stipple on all the different brown tones. And then what I'll tend to do is I'll dry brush over my base colour, but in little circular motions.
Yes.
Not just dry brush to get the edges. And what you end up with is a real patchy base coat that looks like it's faded and worn and been well used, but it's probably a bit too worn and faded for a Baneblade. But
it's one of those.
I shall reveal. I'll show on camera what it looks like.
Do you want to go full screen?
You can do it. I'll put it up if you want.
That's all right. No, you carry on, mate.
It's got a bit of dust on it as well, but this is my Orc Mega Track with bits in that don't need to be seen. I'll just take the gun off, and you can get the idea. This is literally. I paint this. So many bits that need to come out. Painted it all the base coat. I've not finished it. This is like only a little way in, but I painted all the rust colours first. Primed it black, dry brushed over all the rust colours and stipple them on. And now I'm just in the case of, I want it to be a blue, but really old and worn. So you can see down there, I've just been dry brushing on the blue in a real circular pattern, quite lightly, and building up highlights and dark spots. So you've got like rust where the paint looks just worn away rather than, solidly chipped, which is one way of doing it.
This is all faded paint, and then there'll be washes and stuff on the top of that, so you get the idea. So that's one thing you can do. So doing like Colin's doing, and doing a rusty base coat is often a really good idea because it gives you lots of ideas and options later on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can go as bold with it or as light with it.
Yeah. You can cover most of it up with your base colour, or you can have most of it showing. And that's the beauty of, like, you know, if you want to do something weathered and old, you only have to look at, you know, without going into details, you only have to look at current affairs to be seeing endless shots of rusty vehicles, let's say, and how quickly they can rust. So, you know, if you're looking at doing something weathered or a bit old and battered, it's often fun to start with a rust base coat like Cole's doing and build it from there, whether you're going to be airbrushing or dry brushing.
Exactly.
It's also good fun. When I do my stippling, I just use a dirty old brush that's got the stiffest bristles in the world and go bleh, randomly. It's great fun.
Like I say, if I want to go more specific chips, I can then go in with the detail brush and pick out little areas and paint them in. So, yeah.
Yep. You can go masking fluid or however you want to do it.
Absolutely.
So many different ways you could do it.
More than one way
like
to skin a cat.
Yeah. If you're looking at doing something old and rusty like that, kids, like you're doing an old rusty car in a junkyard, try painting all the rusty colours first and then doing the paint on top. If you're doing a rat rod or something.
Oh, yeah. You know, a lot of folks would go, oh, you know, it's a lot of work when you're putting a base layer over the top of it. Yeah, but it also saves you a shed ton of work. See what I did there?
Yeah,
when you've actually put the base layer down, you haven't got to sit there and do individual chips, as I found out on the Stomper. It was painful.
Yeah, because I did the dry brushing base colour method on my Stomper by painting it all rusty first, whereas Colin pasted all his base colours first and then started manually chipping rusty. But the Stomper's 2 foot tall.
Yeah.
And it's like that wide. It's like a Dalek 2 foot tall. And you kind of regret that choice.
When it comes to the Warlick, that won't happen.
No.
And the Warlick is due to get a coat of primer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
For those that, you don't have to show it, but for those that don't know what the Warlick is, you might want to explain.
The Warlick is a super duper 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 sized stompery type object. Let's see if I can get it in shot, because it's on the shelf down the other end of the man cave at the moment.
Shall full screen you?
Oh, bear with me. Just trying to. It's right down there.
That big Dalek shaped thing.
Yeah, in the middle is the Warlick. Yep. To the left is the Orc Stomper, just there.
Yeah.
That's the Warlick, and then over there, Insane Blade. And that's due to get modified. That is getting another large turret put on that, so that is going to be even taller.
But for a sake of scale, that Insane Blade is basically a Baneblade with all the options built on it, so you can imagine how big that Warlick is.
Yeah, pretty much.
How big the Stomper is.
Pretty much everything that comes in the box with a Baneblade is on that one up there. There was absolutely no leftovers in the box. Every turret, gun, sponson, there's 6 sponsons on it, a sail, a rope bridge, a crow's nest. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought my microphone was off and I had a massive sneeze. Oh, I do apologise.
So, yeah.
So, oh, hang on. I shall be back in a moment.
Yeah, no worries, mate. So, yeah, that's the Insane Blade.
Sorry.
I will dig it down when I've finished assembling this one. I will dig it down so that you can all see it, and then we can do a comparison. So, apologies for the moving of the camera constantly there, folks, but I'm just trying to get everything back in shot because obviously I showed you the Insane Blade. So let's just try and get that reasonably back to where it was. Something like that, that'll do for now. So, yeah, it goes to show you what you can do with them. I mean, that's pretty much had every bit of every part slung in there. So, yeah. And I've got another full-size Baneblade turret to put on that. The leftovers from this box are all going on the Insane Blade, because pretty much any Baneblade parts I come across get added to it. So I don't think it's ever going to get finished. KDL Varick said it is Mahusive. Yes, it's had a base layer put down on the Insane Blade. The Warlex had a grey primer, but I'm going to red oxide it and get that ready and do all the rust effects on it and stuff like that. So, yeah. Daniel's in, the Dream Builder. Hello, mate. How you doing? As is Ross. Ross is in, saying hello. Hello, Ross. How you doing, mate? Nice to see you in, mate. Nice to see you in. So, yeah, you can have fun with it. I mean, you know, the person that wins this Baneblade, you can do what you like. I've seen them done as British tanks. I've seen them done as German tanks. The US Army, you know, you could either treat it as a modern day vehicle where if it existed in the real world, you could do it as a what if build. It's your Baneblade. You do with it what you choose. And that's the fun of it. It's not just Warhammer, you know, I mean, you can do with it whatever you choose to at the end of the day, and it'll be fine. Obviously, if you want to play the Warhammer game, you would stick to the Warhammer theme. But if you're like me that doesn't play the game itself, you can do what you like with it. That's all I do. I just pick and choose what ideas I like. If it don't work, I just paint over it and start again. So, you know, it's like what I'm doing on this. You know, some areas are taking quite nicely, but it's not all of this is going to be visible, but it's just easier just to do the whole shebang and then cover it and then to expose the bits that I've got an interest. So I tend to let all of this dry. And then once it's dried, I then look at the model on the turntable and I look for areas of the underlying weathering that are interesting to the eye. And they're the bits that I expose. If it's looking a bit... then that's where the base layer goes over. So I only expose what I think is the better stuff. So yeah, just adds different tonal varieties. That's all I'm doing. Very easy to do. Bit of sponge. You can do it with dry brushes. I started off with a dry brush. And I'm just sponging on now just to get some different stipples. I'll also put some pigment powders on, get them all on, and then put my base down. Just so that when some of the paint goes over the pigment, it looks like the paint itself is beginning to bubble. I can achieve the same thing just by leaving some of the mask oil on with the paint on top of it, and it'll just bubble up and it looks like the paint's about to ping off with a chip. So that'd be a pre-chip. See what I did? EC Idaho says it is a nice kit, the Baneblade. It is. It's, for me, it's not just limited to the Warhammer aesthetic or genre. You know, you could look at it and go, well, I could get a really interesting armour piece out of that. So, yeah.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
I don't have to apologise, mate. It's real life.
Oops. Right, where was I?
You carry on.
Did I miss
mate.
anything?
No, I was just going on about what you can do with a Baneblade. You can do it as modern day military. You can do it however you choose.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're playing the game, you obviously want to make it playable. But other than that, sure, Baneblade, do what you like.
Yeah. It's just a model kit like any other.
This was it. When I first got into Warhammer, I almost become obsessed thinking I had to paint it a certain way for it to be Warhammer. And you soon realise, you just go, yeah, that don't matter.
It's just like a model kit like any other.
Exactly that.
So, certainly if you're playing the game, you have to be considerate of what weapons you've got on it and things like that, because that's relative to the game. So
absolutely.
Relevant even. Do you know? I've had a quote ready all night.
Oh, have you really? Is he in? Is he?
Nope. The one night I get a quote ready for him.
Oh, Lammerkins.
I don't know.
Oh.
EC Idaho says it's a nice kit, the Baneblade.
It is.
Peter Davies says, does the pre-chip come with ketchup?
I see what he did there.
Let's have a look.
I see what he did. What are you thinking?
I'm just reading chat. So
everyone saying hello to Daniel. Retro's heading home. He's stopping for kebabs. See you in a bit. No worries, mate. And Ross is in. So, hello, Ross. I think I might have already read that out, but McLeish has returned.
McLeish has returned. We can all breathe quietly again. That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't.
Has McLeish gone somewhere?
Yeah, probably to the... Yeah.
Was he pooping?
Oh, there you go. I thought I'd leave that to you.
Yeah. You know, I'm the... It's... When I play Far Cry 6, it's quite funny when I play Far Cry 6, you're wandering around and every now and then a plane will fly overhead and its entire purpose is to fly overhead and drop a supply package that you can go and intercept. And I call it the poop plane. The pooping plane, because it drops supply poops that I have to go and intercept. So,
I worry so much about you.
I was like, quick, run towards the plane poop. Because it poops the thing out, poops the supply crate out. And you have to go and get the supplies.
Yeah, McLeish says, Pops, I'll get your quote ready. Jeff is in, Candygram for Mongo. Hi, everyone. I've been listening. I'm busy working, so I haven't said anything yet, and I would hate for Fox's quote to go unread. Have your moment of glory, dear. Go on.
Yep. My fundamental premise about the brain is that its workings, what we sometimes call mind, are a consequence of its anatomy and physiology, and nothing more. There you go.
That was a very, very impressive quote.
Thank you very much. Consider again that dot. God, I've got saying it so much.
Absolute legend, mate.
Legend in his own lunchtime.
Yeah.
My chat's not updating again. Happy days.
My eldest boy, he loves Cosmos. He watches it on one of the streaming sites that you can get, how can we say, things from. TV shows from, and
it's a shame with the original Cosmos that there's always an argument as to who has the rights, whether it's PBS or somebody else.
Yeah, and
so it's never been made available for any TV. So you can't get it. You can't even. It's not even on Amazon, to pay for it. And it's a real shame because you've got like the later Cosmos series are on Disney, for example, because they own National Geographic.
Yeah.
But for a PBS series, a public, series funded with public money and whatever, it's a shame it's not available anywhere. You can buy it on DVD. But it's a shame it's been held up for whatever reason.
Well, what started him off is he came across my Cosmos book. And, he's space mad, mate. He's got a full arm tattoo that is nebulas and all of that lot with the Hubble telescope on it and all sorts. So he's proper space mad and
space.
Yeah. So when he spied that, he said, "Oh, can I have a read?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." And inwardly, I was like, "Oh, Sagan, he's going to be hooked." And then it was, I so want to watch the show. I was like, "Get in."
That's the funny thing is, when I was a little kid, I don't really remember, but obviously we would have watched Cosmos when I was a little kid. But I was like 6 years old. I didn't know what was going on. But I remembered it in later years when I was like, 10 or 11 or something.
Yeah.
We had the book as well. And it was reading that book and I'm like, ooh. And then, of course, there was no way for me to watch it at that point until many, many years later when I think it was on the BBC like once.
Yeah.
For some bizarre reason, and it was like, oh. And we kind of recorded it on video, but
yeah, my mum saw me reading it in the bookshop, and it was like, it appeared. It was like,
oh yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, when I was young, I thought, I fancy watching that. There was no mechanism for me to do that at all.
No,
because it wasn't out on video. DVDs didn't exist, and there was no internet.
No.
So it had to be, oh look, BBC is showing all of Cosmos. Get the VCR powered up.
Classic show. If ever you've not watched it, we want a written explanation why.
Yeah, and the written date of when you will have watched it by.
Yeah. go. See, that's
because there are
beginning
no excuses.
to take shape.
The Earth is the shore of the cosmic ocean. Recently, we've waded a little way out, and the water seems inviting. It seems familiar. We've come this way before.
James is in. Evening, Colin Fox and all in chat. EC Idaho watched Cosmos when broadcast in the US, and Connections are almost the same time.
Yep, Connections.
AJ's in, saying hello to Jeff.
I actually splurged last year and got myself Connections on DVD.
Yeah.
Connections is so good.
Daniel says, what's that? Laugh out loud, my bad. He says, I thought Colin did powdering, now he's doing foundation. Oh, you mate, man of multi-talents. You know me.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of we, a little bit of Yeah. That would be an ecumenical matter. McLeish says, I am taking first, second year. There you go. Foxy's gone quiet. Have you muted?
Oh, sorry, I was coughing, having a coughing fit.
Oh, right, yeah. Straight away, I frantically started going through all my settings because, yeah.
I was just having a bit of a coughing fit. Apologies.
No, you don't have to apologise, as long as I know you're all right. It's just immediately when I don't hear your dulcet tones, I think you've either dropped out or the stream's died, so...
Yeah. You think by now you'd know to give it at least a few seconds.
Yeah, which is what I did, which is why I said, have you muted?
Yeah.
Who was in the question?
Andy McLeish says, and I can only hear this in the voice of Tim Curry, space! I can't do Tim Curry.
Space!
I'm going to go to the one place where there's no capitalism. Space! Or whatever it is he says.
Is he still going, Tim Curry? Is he still around, or has he sadly gone?
No, he's still with us. I think he's got. He had a massive stroke, I think, last year, though, and he's struggling a bit.
Oh, no.
But he's still around. Yeah, he's still around.
Bless him.
Still doing lots of voiceover.
We don't realise how old some of these actors are becoming now.
Yeah. What was it the other day? I read something and I was surprised to hear that someone was like 80, and I'm like, what? I can't remember who it was now, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it does creep up, doesn't it? You know, when you think a lot of the musicians we grew up with are all in their sort of mid-60s, late 60s, 70s, 80s. It's like, really?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, you look at anybody like, Rolling Stones and stuff, they're like thousands of years old.
Keith Richards is still alive, I don't know. He needs his DNA cryogenically frozen so we can get our best scientists to analyse it.
I think he probably just pickled himself over the course of 40 years.
Fair play. I mean, it's how he's still alive, I don't know, but fair play to him. Still a great musician.
ECIDO says, Fox, I'm green with envy. Is that because I've got Connections on disc? Did I get it on? Yes, I got it on disc. Yes. Can't go wrong with Connections.
I think that's why you might be envious, mate.
Yeah. Or it could just be because I'm so handsome and talented.
No.
One of those two will be the reason, but I'm not sure which. It could be
yes, EC, that was sad to hear Michael Palin's wife Helen passed away after 57 years of marriage. It was sad, mate. Always sad when someone loses their partner. B3 says, going by the lovely rusty base coat that you're doing there, Cole, that wallet is definitely in safe hands. It is, mate. We showed it off just now, the wallet in the background there. It's getting primed probably later on this week, early next week, mate.
Ooh.
So I shall be putting up some pictures of it getting its primer, and I'm gonna be doing a similar thing. I mean, I don't know how that's coming out on air, but there's about 5 different shades in there so far, and it's just early stages at the moment.
Yeah.
Just to try to get some tonal variety or variations. So it's getting there.
I just realised my light was on far too bright, so I hope that's a bit better for folks.
Yes, I'm looking forward to the Warlick. I know it's been delayed, but it was one of those I wanted to get to a certain point with the Warhammer techniques where I was comfortable to take the project on, because you've put your heart and soul into building it. And I want to do it justice, mate. So I'm comfortable now to have a go at it.
Have you settled on what you're going to do with it?
Yeah, it's not going to be an Harlequin like the other one, because I've already done that paint job once.
Yeah,
it's going to be a very faded down Bad Moons looted. There might be the odd bit that may have come off of something else, maybe one panel here or there, but not as intense. But it's going to be pretty much base rust effect, very light hint of the top coat, really faded down and dirty, and but again, it's going to be a long paint job,
that's the beauty of it. You can have some panels that are ancient and some panels that have just been looted off a
absolutely
Imperial Guard tank like last week.
Some more recent panels that look a little less worn, and I want to try and do it so that it looks like the piece has evolved. So perhaps the bottom lot is a lot more weathered than the top lot, because the top lot's been added as the vehicle's grown, so to speak. So, very early planning stages, but it needs to be started now, because I keep looking up at her. Same with the Insane Blade, and it's like I really need to pull my thumb out and start doing them. So.
Plus, it's also content.
Absolutely. So,
absolutely.
It's got to be done, isn't it?
Oh, no, I've got these bits now where I've got to... This is the bit always grinds my gravel.
Oh, dear.
Is the headlights have these little sort of ensconcements around the top.
Yeah.
Little castings, and they've got rivets all the way around. And you can either spend ages cleaning all the mould line between all the rivets, which is a pain in the bum, or cut them all off and redo the rivets. It's actually, in this case, it's easier to leave them and go round them, because cutting all the rivets off and getting them all back lined up equally spaced is really quite tricky. So it's one of the few places where I actually try and keep the rivets. I just really wish they wouldn't put mould lines right between rivets like that.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying, that, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to go around. I mean, it's the limitations of the moulding process, but it's so frustrating. I mean, I could just hack the rivets off and just sand it, but there's no guarantee I get them all nice and neatly lined up, because there's so many of them. Ah, well. Dee-dee-dee-dee. It's the only place they do this on here, though, which is, to be fair.
Yeah.
Which makes it a little more tolerable.
Yeah, there are some bits that you come across on the builds and you think, why? Why did they mould it that way? But
yeah, most of it's probably down to the limitations of slip moulding, but...
I mean, it's quite an old mould, isn't it? It's early 2000s, isn't it?
I think it's 2013... Wait, is it 2009? We've got a date on the
for some reason I'm thinking between 7 and 9 for some reason. Right, that era.
2007 is the date on the sprue.
Yeah, there you go. So, it's quite an old piece then, really.
You're an old piece.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. Old and wizened.
Wizened. And by wizened, it doesn't mean wise and ancient. It just means,
withered. Wizened. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just withered husks, aren't we?
Oh, yeah. As H often says, I am a devoid, emotionless husk.
Well, we know you're a heartless husk because you haven't even watched more than one episode of Bluey yet.
Oh, are you still going on?
Yeah. You won't be redeemed until you've actually, given in to temptation and just experienced the love and joy that is Bluey. Until you've let Bluey into your heart. I have a leaflet.
You made a leaflet.
I'll knock on my way past and drop a leaflet off for you. And we have a monthly subscription. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, you haven't forgiven me for my lack of Bluey watching, have you?
Nope. I may have to stage an intervention at some point. May have to have words with H.
Yeah, I was going to say that the H card was going to get pulled. I just knew it.
Yeah, I may have to somehow have a word with H and convince that it's the best thing for you. For science reasons. I'll come up with some science reasons. Okay, that was easier than normal. Normally it's right paint to clean them, but that was actually really... This particular printing is... Because this is towards the end of the run of this particular printing of the Baneblade. They've done a really good job. So it was like the mould line just scraped off dead easily.
Oh, happy days.
So it must have been a recently refreshed mould. Good, we like that.
You're a mould.
Mould. Now, my chat's not updating, so I'll have to depend on you, I'm afraid.
Well, McLeish is the last one that's in there. Back, I was making a crisp sandwich, so...
Yeah, I ain't got none of that, none nothing either. Yeah. Keep them to manually redo it. Let's have a look.
Yeah, you are up north, aren't you? So it's 1935, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. It takes longer for the internet to get here. It's going uphill. ECIdo says, Fox, yes. Brilliant. I've no idea what I said, but it's that long ago now. But yes, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed whatever it was I said. I'm glad you agree with that opinion that I expressed.
Happy days.
I love that when we miss a comment for about half an hour.
Yeah, we are pretty bad. We do apologise. It's never done on purpose. It's just we do go off on a tangent and we do kind of get engrossed in what we're doing and we forget that we're live, don't we?
Also, we're really old and we can't see small words easily. Yes. Now,
So if you do win the Baneblade, folks, what are your plans for it?
Yeah, what are you going to do with it?
You know, if you was to win it, how would you build it? Would you do it as a what if? Would you do it Warhammer? Would you
Would you build all 8 in one go? Would you build?
Yeah.
Would you mix and match variations? Would you? We know what Steve would do. Steve would just bash it into spaceship.
Steve will out insane the insane blade, mate.
No, Steve would just take all the sprues and turn it into a big box of bits.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even build it. He's built one before. But yeah, Steve wouldn't do it. To Steve, it's just a source of bits. And he's quite happily open about it. He's like, hey, to me, they're just bits, mate.
Absolutely.
And you know what? That's fine. If you win the tank, it's your tank. You can do with it as you wish.
Your kit, do with it what you choose, mate.
Yeah.
And McLeish, like I say, said about his crisp sandwich flavours. What flavour?
Oh, yeah, flavour. It better be cheese and onion. Otherwise, you're just wrong. I don't know. If you're making a crisp butty call, what flavour would you have?
Beef and tomato. Or roast
Crisps.
beef. Yeah, beef crisps. Yeah.
Beef crisps.
For some reason, I was thinking of pot noodles then. Oh,
You were putting pot noodles, weren't you?
Yeah.
I could see that. I've never been a big fan of the beef crisps, though, because they never taste... It's nice, but it doesn't taste like beef. I mean, none of them taste like anything they're supposed to taste like, but...
None of them really taste just like the chicken. They don't taste like chicken. Come on.
But this is the thing, right? And this is what I don't get. Right, chicken crisps and beef crisps. They don't taste anything like chicken. They don't anything like beef. Yet all chicken crisps and all beef crisps taste the same.
Yeah.
So did they all get together and say, tell you what, here's how we make a flavour that we'll call chicken and we'll universally call it chicken, even though it's nothing to do with
Yeah,
chicken?
makes you wonder whether the Flavour House have just released it to everyone.
Yeah. Always amuses me as well when you get mushroom soup that never really tastes like mushrooms, apart from when you occasionally get a little bit of raw mushroom in it, occasionally tastes like mushroom soup. It's like, what do they do to the mushrooms to make them taste like mushroom soup?
Yeah.
But doesn't taste like actual mushrooms.
Got to be all the additives that get put in it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who knows? We're just mere mortals.
We're just people with face holes.
Right.
Now, don't forget, folks, of course, eModels are now proud to have an association with Ultimate Modelling Products.
Yes.
Ultimate Modelling Products are now in association with eModels. So make sure you go and stock up on your UMP products, your primers, your thinners, your brush cleaning stuff, your pigments, all your washes, all the holders and things. Make sure you go along to the store, emodels.co.uk.
Your one-stop shop for all your model making needs.
All of the needs. Make sure you go along. I'm very proud of you, son. Make sure you go along and check it out because they are now in association with eModels. So go and check it out. We've got some little videos coming soon
Yes.
We've got some little showing off videos, and then we've got some more in-depth videos tuning. I'm going to be doing one tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll do them on bits and bobs as we go along. But do make sure to go and check them out in the section of the store marked Ultimate Modelling Products under Brands on the menu.
3 days.
Yeah. Because they also have the best primer in the world.
Yeah.
Ultimate Modelling Primer. It's the sort of the UK version of the Badger Style Alres. So it's just the best acrylic primer there is. Best non-lacquer primer you're going to get ever, in my humble opinion. As an airbrush primer. Because put it this way, if I can use UMP primer,
anyone can,
faultlessly, then, and it's idiot proof basically. Because if I can do it, then half a cat could do it and not mess it up. You've got to have a pretty darn good product for me not to mess it up. Put it this way, I can't even get through most Ubisoft game tutorials without failing at some point. That's how stupid I am. And trust me, I can't. I started playing Watch Dogs 2 the other day and I still failed. I got stuck on one bit of the tutorial. I'm like, oh, God, really? So, if I can use UMP primers quite happily, then go for it. Also, they do a fantastic gloss black primer, which is brilliant if you're doing metallics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For underneath your chromes and that, yeah.
Underneath your chrome.
I saw it did.
Yep. So go and check them out in the Ultimate Modelling Products or UMP section. They are now in association with eModels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs.
Yeah, not some of them. Not a few of them.
It's not 5 of them.
But all of them.
All of them. Can I ask you a personal question, Cole?
Of course you can.
Has your fluffy end gone a bit blue? On your microphone, I mean.
Hey? Oh, what, my Ted?
Yeah, is it by any chance gone a bit blue?
No, it's as grey, mate.
Mine seems to have taken on a blue hue. I don't know if it's picking up the reflector light off my cutting mat, which has a slight blue tint to it, or if I've just sprayed it with
a blue rinse. Look, there it is. There's my Ted.
Yeah, I can't show you. Well, I can show you mine. I can't show you. Yes, I can. No, I can't without making the focus up. But it just seems to have a little bit of a blue.
No, it's got a bit of a lustre to it. It's looking a bit windswept and interesting, but no, it's
yeah. I don't mind. Just seems to have developed a bit of a
blue tinge. Has it had a blue rinse? Because he's a Ted.
Have I been? That's true. It could be a Templars. It could be a Space Marines Templars chapter.
Yeah.
It just seems to be a bit tint of blue to it. Like I've sprayed some clear blue near it and it's gone a bit awry or something.
Yeah, because Ted did dye his hair blue, didn't he, that time? So,
he did.
Could be a
Crazy
blue
fool.
rinse. Only Ted could do that, couldn't he?
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
He says it was for charity, but it was in the middle of no charity events whatsoever.
I would love to have seen the look on Mrs. Ted's face when he went downstairs.
I noticed, I don't know if you noticed this, but it did coincide with him when he went down to Brighton that one time.
Yes, I didn't like to say, but yeah.
I wonder if maybe Ted has a bit of a secret life that maybe Mrs. Ted doesn't know about.
Yeah.
Do you think he's got those special leather trousers and everything?
Yeah, he's got the hot pants, isn't he? The Daisy Dukes were out, weren't they?
The chaps. Oh. I don't know even where I'm going with that. I
could just imagine Ted in his Barrow voice going, "Oh no."
Oh no.
I don't know what that accent was, but it sounded nothing
There's a
like
bit missing
Barrow.
in these chaps. I know. That was more Hull than Barrow, I think.
Yeah.
No. I can't do a Barrow accent. You kind of have to sound like northern and depressed at the same time. No.
Yeah, it's got a ring to it, innit?
No. This is one thing he's not got. And a sort of a Barrow accent. It's like no.
Yeah, it's
a bit like Rom. Oh, Moogie.
yeah.
Yeah, Moogie. You know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean.
Rom's awesome. Brother.
It's a bit of that.
A little bit of that. A little bit of this.
Yeah.
And also that.
It's subtle. It's subtle.
I'm sorry, did those words just come out of your mouth?
They did. They did.
Are you branching out into new territories?
I am. I'm in my own little world of festiness, and yeah.
Ooh. Is it a good world to be in?
Yeah, it's very therapeutic.
Is it slightly nuts?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know me, mate.
Is it like ideal for the 5-year-old in the family?
Yeah, my world is a weird little place.
Festa's entire mental world is basically a theme park.
Yeah, would you have me any other way? Yeah.
No, because then you'd be boring and serious and you'd just be dumped. God, imagine if you were serious about everything and boring. You'd be like,
Couldn't do it, mate.
No.
You know, and that's one of the biggest criticisms I get from my MS nurse.
Yeah.
They say you don't take it seriously. And I went, look, at the end of the day, you live with it 24/7, 365. So if you took it seriously, life would be very boring and miserable. I just chill out and it is what it is. And I mock it and they don't understand that.
No, I understand it.
I suppose
it's
it's quite alien to them because they don't come across it often, do they?
Well, I mean, they'll spend all day with people who are sad about it and depressed about it and upset by it. And it's like, you're not the kind of person that sits there going, oh, like a day of lamentations. Or no, you're just like, well, whatever.
You know, when I sit in the waiting room and see other patients in a similar boat, I couldn't live like that because it's all doom and gloom. They've all got that grey cloud with fault lightning above their head, and it's like, really?
See, I just see you as like almost like a little Doctor Who type, just sat there and kind of looking at somebody going, jelly baby?
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I can't do that because I've got... Oh, get over yourself.
Korean. God, you're wished.
Yeah, I just don't get it, I'm afraid, and yeah.
No.
But everyone handles things differently.
I can't speak on that at all because I don't deal with anything like that. But you can because you do. So
yeah, but in a way, I would liken it to the situation you have with your mum. Now, I've never heard you moan about it, complain about it, or anything. It is what it is. You can't change it, and you get on with it.
You just do it.
There's some days where you're perhaps in need of a bit of company because of, and we all rally around and get you through it. That's what we do.
Yep.
Sitting there whining about it ain't the answer, is it?
No. I mean, if I stub my toe, oh, by God, you'll hear about that for a week. Like this bit on my thumb here, it's so painful. I mean,
Oh, lamekins. Show me
So
what funny whammy sawsy woolsy.
So I can be precious, but that's only really done for comedy because it's fun. But it's... I mean, I say I can't speak to dealing with a major disease because I don't suffer with anything. Yeah. But I might do one day, who knows? But
yeah, but it's like anything. You have the condition, but it doesn't control you. You control it.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, And for me, it works. It don't work for everyone, but do you honestly think I could sit here and feel sorry for myself being married to H?
No.
And I admire that because if I am on a bit of a downer, by Christ, do I know it? She'll tell me of it.
Yep.
And I respect her for that because, H is, 5 foot nothing of Scottish anger. I'm 6'1" and built like an outhouse.
Yeah, but you know what? She's glad that you're a big fella because it means it's easier for her to kick your ass.
Yeah, but she's not shy in coming forward, and I need that, and I admire that. And as I said this week when I went and got results and that, I said it's easy for me. I know what the condition feels like because I live with it. Yeah. I said it's harder for H and my boys because they're on the outside of the goldfish bowl looking in. Yeah. I said it's more challenging for them than it'll ever be for me. Yeah. And the medic was like, that's a great perspective to have. I said, well, you put it this way. I could be laying here now saying this. There isn't a cure. I said, so you can't cure me. I said, but you'll be beating yourself up because you can't. Yep. I said, and that's what H deals with every day. She's seeing the man she married dealing with this. And, yeah.
It's a wonderful pragmatism that you've got. It's just like, oh, it is what it is, and I'll just do the best with it.
Well, yeah.
What was it I said the other day? It's I can't remember what the phrase was. I'll remember it in a minute.
Yeah. Well, it's like when they said to me about my left foot. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be like that permanently now. So it's all right. I've got another one.
Yeah. What, with the left foot? Hey!
Yeah, and the guy was like, he said, your cynicism. I said, it's not being cynical. I said, it's realistic. The damage is done. It's permanent. Move on. Yeah. And that's why when I said to you, I'll be back in a sec, we'll just take me foot for a drag. It threw you at first. But that's how I cope with it.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said the other day, the way I describe your outlook on it is in spite of, not because of.
Absolutely.
Your mentality is in spite of, not because of. I do this in spite of that. I don't do this. I don't not do this because of. I do it in spite of. Yeah. Plus, at the end of the day, you're like me. You're 5 years old in your brain, so we're both too stupid to actually feel bad about it anyway.
Exactly that.
I'd be in the same boat. If I had something like that, I'd be too stupid to worry about it. I'd be like, I've got a toy car. What?
We was chatting off air the other day, wasn't we, about it? Because you was curious as to how this mindset developed, and we had quite a deep conversation, you know. And I said to him, "Well, look at it this way, you know. I showed symptoms at 23 years old. I'm 56 in July, so for half my entire life, I've had this condition. So." You fall in love with it. I got asked once whether I would change it. No, I wouldn't, because it makes you the person you are, and it's got you where you are, and you're happy with your life as it is for a lot of the ways your life is right now. It's like inwardly, I've never been happier, mate. You know, I'm at ease with it. It's you've
got a roof over your head. You've got friends. You've got a family. You've got kids.
Yeah, there's people on the TV that have lost everything. Their houses are blown up and all for whatever reason. And so they're the people that are going through it, not me.
Yep.
Anyway, we're going off tangent. Modelling related show. Come on.
We can talk about nonsense, but it's nice to go deep sometimes. It's nice to go deep sometimes. Dorkosaurus is in, says, hi, Jeff. McLeish says, Dino. Athol says, I came back and it was all bits of chewed bark. If anyone's interested in the stomach contents of Beth's belly, I think Beth was sick.
Yeah. Oh, bless her. Get well soon, Beth.
I think she is now. She's thrown up. She's doing that thing of being a dog and eating dumb stuff.
Oh, yeah, dogs can walk along, they go and carry on walking as if nothing's happened.
Yeah.
McLeish says, H wouldn't let you mope about. No, nothing, never. She'd smack you upside the head. Absolutely, Andy. Yep. You need that. You need that strong character behind you, mate.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said I don't get depressed now and then, but that's when the people that are close to me can spot it.
Yep. I mean, it's a very different story if someone's living, say, if they live alone and they're dealing with something like, MS or whatever. Yes. That's a whole different story. And, of course, there's no one to pick them up when they feel down. So that's a whole different territory. So,
well, I do a lot with the MS groups and that, but I started to get disillusioned because it was a room full of people moaning about the condition. Oh, why me? Well, I don't do that, and to me, I don't think that's a positive mindset, and I said, well, good, better, best works for me, and I explained it to them. I said, I'm annoyed sitting here listening to you moaning like you are about it, because that's driving me mad, because that's not the answer.
Well, you kind of see that as a waste of time. You're just wasting what time you've got. Come on, you've got a finite amount of time now.
Yeah. We have a finite amount of time on this little bowl of rock and water. Laugh at it. Look at H when she had that woman have a go at her on the embankment in London. She looked round and said, oh, you crippled old so-and-so, get a move on. And this woman was mortified. So as I trundled along, I said, she hits me as well. But of course, the woman thought I was being serious, so she stopped to have a bit of a go at H. And me and my boys were like, let's go and sit down and watch this. This is going to be fun.
You're a bad man.
Yeah. So yeah, it's and H, bless her. She had one fella's wife that she was chatting to, and you know he hadn't long had his diagnosis, and his missus, she was in a bit of a 2 and 8. And it's like H said to her, "Yeah, you've got to go through that stage." She said, "But when you come out of it, she said, do what I did, learn the subject, become an expert in it."
Yep.
She said, because there's going to be symptoms that your husband's displaying that he doesn't know he's displaying, but he needs to know so that he can pass that on to the MS doctor. You know, Helen is my proxy. She deals with everything medically to do with my situation, because one, I'm as deaf as a post and I don't always hear what's been said. And also, if I'm incoherent, because you do get a little bit cognitive with MS,
don't you?
Yeah. What with the type 2 thrown on as well, it's, So she knows the subject, and she'll say to me, "Oh, I'm going to have a word with Debbie." "Why is that, love?" "I think we need to up a particular med because you're a bit off with your thinking and your speech," she said. "And I think you need
she'll know
to...
what the baseline is.
Yeah, you need to increase the dose on that." And she has certain questions that she'll ask me if I'm a bit derpy. And if I don't give the answers that we both agreed on many, many years ago, he knows that I'm having a bit of a brain fart and I might need to be checked out for different things.
Well, that's the best thing with any kind of, I know about delirium, so trust me on that one. The thing with delirium is, of course, the person that's going through it has no idea. So
You've got no idea, mate.
You need a third party there to just be the frame of reference and say, no, that's not right.
And to deal with all of that, I admire her, I really do, and I know I joke about her being the Scottish anger and that, but honestly, I've got nothing but the utmost respect for her because she's never complained.
She does know there's no secret bank account, right?
Yeah. Oh no! Well, it's funny when all of that lot had to be done, because obviously you have to. Without getting too gloomy, you have to have your affairs in order.
Yeah.
And we did this many years ago when I got my full prognosis. And it was one of the first things I said to her, we need to get everything sorted because the boys are at uni. I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I said, I have an idea. Yeah. I said, but it's going to come a time. I said, so it's better we do it now. And then you start sorting out all your assets, don't you? And you start logging everything, and then you realise you're worth more dead than you are alive.
Yeah, you realise how much crap you've got in your man cave and how much it's all worth. And you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, but it's like I said, it's not my problem. I ain't the one who's got to clear it all out.
No, that's true.
But no.
Well, you realise all that stuff in my man cave could have bought a house twice as big.
All joking aside, we are very realistic people, but that's as far as it went. It's like my funeral. I've paid for my funeral. It's all sorted. When I go, she ain't got to worry about it. My boys ain't got to worry about it. It's dealt with. To me, that's important.
Yep.
And, so now I don't have to worry about stuff like that. Enjoy life. That's what it's about.
Yep. You can have a headstone that says, I told you I wasn't well.
Yeah, Spike Milligan special. No, I'm not having headstone or anything, mate. I'm going through the pure cremation. My ashes will go and be kept until H goes, and then we're getting scattered, mate.
No.
But, it's one of them. I don't want no funeral fuss, because my family are professional mourners, mate.
East End family, of course they are.
Yeah, and you always get that relative. Oh, he said I could have that. They're a bunch of vultures, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't want my boys and H to go through that. So I did mine. This is quite morbid, I know, for a modelling stream, and I do apologise. But I did mine through a company called Pure Cremation. They come, they get you. They take you off, cremate you, and your ashes get returned 6 weeks later. So there's no chapel arrest, no funeral, nothing.
Yep.
And I live life my way, and I want to go out my way. And I don't want people that never liked me or didn't want to know me turning up in the hope of scoring a freebie. So I'm going do them in my own little way.
He's leaving everything to me. That's what he's saying. That's what I'm hearing here. I'm getting the private jet.
Fox is like, you have signed over the Warlock and Insane Blade to me, haven't you?
Insane Blade, I'll take.
You're a bad man.
I don't go near the Warlock.
Yeah, that is a challenge. That is, I wouldn't say a nemesis, but I look at that even now. I'm looking at that. I am really, really looking forward to painting it. I must admit.
I'd be there saying, now, when he was alive, Festa always said he was a bad moons. He always orcs are bad moons. But I know in his real heart, he was a Death Skulls, because that's what I'd paint, and that's why I painted Death Skulls.
So, no, I'm nervously apprehensive, but in a nice way.
Yeah, of the Warlock, not of death.
Yeah.
just to clarify.
No, I came at ease of that in my early 30s, mate.
Yeah.
You know, when I had my first ticker event. So, yeah. So I know how quickly things can change for you.
Yeah.
So I don't bother with it. It's funny. I had it said to me brilliantly by Richard, who did my back. He said, at the end of the day, he said, we're a countdown timer from the minute we're conceived. He said, now you can either obsess about it or ignore it. He said, and I like your attitude. He said, because you just go, whatever.
Yeah, I've only got so much time. I was do something with it.
Yeah.
We've still, I hate to admit, it's quite shameful, but we've still got Father downstairs in his biohazard bottle.
Oh, have you really?
Oh, well, I think, tell a lie. My wolf did actually eventually get an urn.
Yeah, is that because Mum's going to be with him?
No, it's just because we just never got around to it. He wanted, because we didn't really know, but we kind of thought if he wanted to go anywhere, it'd be some little island in the middle of like Loch Ness or somewhere. Yeah. It's never happened.
We're getting scattered on the Findorn where Helen was born. We're both going up. We're both going up there, and we're going to be scattered at sea around Findorn in Scotland, because
that sounds very Tolkien. That does, Findorn.
Yeah, it's a nice tranquil place, and so that's where we'll end up. And you know, at the end of the day, a bit of granite in the ground that's going to decay and that over years, to me, is a waste of time, money, and effort. You know, and so
I'll be scattered at Warhammer World.
Yeah,
they've got most of my money. They may as well have me as well. No, I don't know what I'd have. I don't know what I'd have.
But anyway.
Yeah, let's it's a fascinating conversation subject, really, when you think about it. But at the same time,
Athol says my body goes to medical science after I popped off, and they do what they want after they finish. They can have a barbecue at their expense. Well, I went to see Body Welds years and years and years ago, and really wanted to be plastinated, but
Dr. Klaus, whatever thing. No, not Klaus.
No, it's something Gunter Van Hagen's, isn't it?
That's it, Gunter Van Hagen. You remembered it, You remembered a foreign name. Good girl.
My mate Gunter. But
Gunter Van Hagen's.
And if you've never seen the exhibition, I would say go. Obviously, if you're a bit squeamish and a bit morbid, or a bit...
Go anyway.
Yeah, a little bit squeamish or a bit frightened of that sort of thing, then obviously don't go.
I'd say still go. It's educational. It's amazing how not squeamish it is, actually.
It was one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Because right from an early age, I've always had a fascination with anatomy, the human body, and watching operation videos and how they do heart transplants and surgical procedures and, you know, the intricacies of how the body works.
Please don't tell me you used to kill animals as a child, because that'll be a red flag.
No, good God, no.
Good lad.
No, I haven't got serial killer eyes, mate. But no, I've always been fascinated with that sort of thing, and in an interested way, not in a I want to go and hurt people kind of way. Because
it's not a kind of not a gory way. It's just how the body works, isn't it? It's fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. EB3 says it's been a month and I'm bored. He says I find something about just having a break for a bit. No mortgage to pay and her indoors is working, so no rush. Absolutely. What have I missed up there? He says, trying to scroll up.
Scrolling up, oh dear.
Fibre is a young man's game. I can't climb poles and sit in ducks in all weathers anymore, which is why most of us went into frames in the first place. Was on borrowed time for the last few years, to be honest with you. Yeah. Absolutely. Most of us that do this hobby have either some form of mental illness or physical illness, because we've had to become very isolated from society, haven't we? Through one reason or another. You, like me, are housebound. So this is our window to the world, so to speak, and what we do.
The world.
And it's surprising how many people in this community can relate to each other through that one thing. And I think that's where the support comes through, isn't it, with each other?
I think it's a truth that you can say for not all, but a big percentage of any kind of artist, be it, model making, painting, drawing, music, any kind of art, and art can take many forms. But I think it's a truism for many different forms of art that, the creative mind often comes with a price. Not always, but often. Often there's some price to pay. You've got to pay the boatman for your art and talent. Does seem to be some sort of balance in there, which is fine. Not everyone, but I think it does seem to be more common than you think. E.C. Anderholm says, Andy, a great headstone idea, buffering.
Yeah, error 404.
I'm going to miss, hang on, because Andy said, headstone idea, respawning, please wait, server disconnected.
Yeah, tilt.
Tilt. Press X to respawn.
Yeah, where did that piano come from?
Wait, was that a zig or a zag?
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little bit a little bit We could go full, what's his face? Swiss Tony. Life is like... Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Getting buried is like making love to
a beautiful woman.
Hanging wallpaper is very much like me.
Oh, yeah, there's a slight difference between the two there. It's beginning to get there. Quite liking that.
Let's have a look. You want me to full screen you? I'm going to full screen you anyway. You've got no choice.
There's a slight variation there. A few more darker tones to go on, but yeah.
See, that's where it starts to look more like rust and not just red-brown.
Absolutely. So it just takes time, folks. Multiple layers and stipplings and things, but yeah.
One thing that people often forget, and you see it on models sometimes, and it's not a bad thing, but it does take the edge off it a little bit, is people often forget that rust has a massive range of colours. It's not just all brown and red-brown. You get gold, yellows.
Yeah, you get oranges.
All different colours, tans.
Yeah, no,
bright reds.
It's just having the when you first start doing it, you think, oh, this is looking bish. And then, like you say, you start getting the different tonal varieties start. And the easiest way to gauge it for me is I tend to look at the rag that I'm using. At the different blends beginning to take shape on there. And it's like, well, if I can see it on there, it will show up on the model. So,
and that's the thing. You've got to kind of have this open idea that, rust is something that can happen very, very quickly.
Yeah.
As again, like we said before, given current events, you'll see a lot of evidence of that.
Oh, yeah.
And rust can run the gamut. It goes from whatever colour the metal was, and it gets darker and darker as the rust gets older. So you can start off with almost like, yellow colours sometimes, and they'll just get progressively dark. It's all different colours. Just mix in all the colours in the world. And
absolutely.
You'll get a good texture. And it looks weird when you see the whole model painted that way, but once you get the base coat on top and you give chips and stuff, your brain goes, it's rust. That makes sense. And it starts to make sense then.
It's almost a shame to cover a lot of it up, but yeah.
And you have to keep in mind as well that even if you're thinking it doesn't look like rust, really, it's like, but you're going to have all the weathering on top and washes and stuff that will even make it even more look like metal and rust.
And there'll be rust pigments going on. There'll be individual brush painted chips and all of that. So
You'll have like little areas where there's like silvers and metals dry brushed over edges, so it looks like where it's been buffed and the rust has been rubbed off. You've got all those kind of things going on.
And this is the thing at this stage. It's that crucial word. It's the base layer. That's all this is.
So much more to come. So much more. I need another exhaust. Am I missing an exhaust? Have I not done all 4 exhausts? Oh, there it is. Gentlemen, have your exhausts ready.
After exhaustive research, see what I did?
I'm always surprised at Telford, says the Bobbins. How many blokes are wandering about on sticks or trundling about in wheelchairs?
Yeah.
Yep. It's one of those things, a lot of times it's, if someone can't go somewhere or do anything, they're going to pick up something they can do. And model making is for an older generation.
I think back to when us two first physically met, how shocked you were. Because you didn't realise how bad my mobility was. Because, you know, we're all very clever with our camera angles and everyone sees you on the live stream sat in your chair like everyone else. And then you suddenly saw this rather large figure looming towards you on these extremely wobbly sticks and you're like...
They were like the world's thinnest crutch sticks I've ever seen in my life. They were like...
Oh, if you have an accident? I went, no. Why? Oh, what's with the sticks? I said, I've got MS, mate. I said, this is how I get around. And you was like, oh. And you felt awkward, didn't you? Because you thought you had put your foot in it, didn't you?
It was weird because it's like, I know what MS is and stuff. It's just I hadn't seen you mobile and walking around. So it never occurred to me that you'd actually use sticks and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you went into mother mode. Let me get you a chair. Sit you down. And I'm like, dude, I can stand. I'm all right. But yeah.
I did go into that a bit because nobody else was considering letting you sit down. I'm like, let's get you a chair because you're there for 5 minutes and nobody's sort of like, should we get the guy on crutches a chair maybe? Should you sit down?
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
It's one of those, but bless you, you know, in the end, with it, it's like when Tony come over, he said, oh, you've got bad, didn't you, mate? I went, yeah. He said, yeah, bless you. Because Tony had seen me before, like, you know, but yeah. It's one of them, you know. I did find it quite funny.
Another headstone one from McLeish. Error 500, internal server error.
I like that one.
Because Angus says maybe 504 error. Oh, hello, Angus. Good day, bro.
Hello, Angus. How you doing,
Steve says, this lot will tell you, I need to finish a few before I start more models. There's a lot of grey primered things that need attention. Well, I thought that's all you did was grey primered things.
No, he's done a bit of painty. He's had some stuff on my gallery that have been painful.
Next time you say something like that, Cole, can you make sure I'm sat? Can you make sure I'm sat down before you say things like that, please?
Yeah. He says, by the way, Fox, I'll get you some stroop waffles as promised whilst I was in Amsterdam.
I was only joking, but I won't say no to stroop waffles. I was only joking, but...
We do like a stroop waffle, don't we?
Right, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to put these exhausts on and ignoring the instructions. Do you think I can do it?
Do you think it can be done? I put my Baneblade instructions down mid-build. It was like, I don't really need them now.
I think I can possibly figure it out, even though it's off camera, because my camera's in the worst possible place.
Well, they can only go one way, mate.
Oh, trust me, that's never a limitation for how bad I can mess things up. You know me better than that, Cole.
You know, I'm looking at this camera. I'm welling up with pride, mate. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you, soldier. Oh, you've done that all by yourself.
Done. I did that without consulting the leg end.
All by yourself using your brain folds.
No, copyright can't do that. I'm gonna glue them in now.
When are we doing the draw for the Baneblade, mate? Have you got a time window?
Let's leave it to the last possible moment, shall we?
Okay. I know, mate. But I didn't know what your plans were regarding Mum.
Oh, no, she's gone to bed now.
Oh, she's gone to bed, yeah. Okay.
She's had herself an early night, so
okay, mate.
This is however long you want to go for.
What are we now?
Free as a bird.
Do you want to go till midnight, yeah?
I've dropped me bits. Yeah, can do.
Yeah.
If you're good with the 3 hour, because that's a 3 hour stint for you.
Yeah, I can push myself till midnight, but that'll be me limit, mate, if you can tell me off.
Yeah, I will. Will H approve, or will you be... Oh, fudge. Will you be in trouble?
Yeah, H will be fine with that.
Okay, I'll just write that down. H will be fine with.
Yeah, she'll be fine with that because
because of the reasons. H will. I'm just writing it down. Sorry, with my other hand that you can't see on camera. H will be fine with that. Said Colin at 22:57 and 45
he's a
seconds.
grassy. See, this is what I have to put up with, folks.
Yeah,
Mind you, though. Yeah.
I'm not wrong, am I?
No, you're not.
Yeah,
I can't get out of that because, I do push the goalposts.
you do. I have an animated GIF of some people carrying a goalpost across a football field, and I only got it specifically for Colin.
Bobbins has got a good one. He says, Headstone, I'm dead now, and no, I'm not telling you where the remote is. McLeish, player 1, insert coin to continue, yeah. Or you could have game over.
Game over. How about what truck?
Yeah. I think Freddie's star on his coffin had return to sender, didn't he?
Something like that. How about, wait, don't touch what now?
Yeah. I knew I should have
There you
turned
go.
right.
Exhaust's done.
I'm so proud of you, mate.
Are you proud of me?
I am, yeah.
I've got some plastic fluff on the top. I have to get rid of that with the glue.
You're all grown up now.
Now you can, if you want to, drill those out because they've got like a hole in the end, but it's only a very shallow, like bowl shape. You could theoretically drill them out further, but as you can see, the exhaust is a complete curve, so drilling them out will be a right pain in the bum. So I'd recommend if you're building these, folks, don't bother because you can put a black wash in there and it looks deeper than a shallow bowl. It's only because it's not painted. But look at all that, I love all that detail. I shall zoom in so people can see the.
Yeah, go full screen, mate. Go on.
I shall use my awesome new zoom on my new camera software. That'll probably mess up. Oh, hang on. Make sure it's in focus. Got a new software that makes life easier.
Yeah,
and I have to say, it's giving me a much better picture quality. Yeah, look at all that beautiful, like, not
there's
working,
that the
beautiful...
G-Hub stuff that,
Yeah.
Yeah, it works a treat, doesn't it?
I actually have to turn my big light down one. It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got all this fretwork here, and you've got like the fretwork and the servo skull for the Mechanicus stuff, and then you've got the little skulls. There's always skulls everywhere. Oh, it's beautiful. I can just see all the gold trim on that, and oh yes, there's lots of lovely detail in this model. If you're in this model, you're going to have epically awesome good times.
Oh yeah, you're
good
in for
times.
a treat.
Let me just change my focus back again. Then downstairs and mess my focus up.
Yeah, if you've never built one of these before, then you will have fun with it.
I'll be with you in a minute. There we go. I can do my focus with my keyboard now and everything.
I know, I'm so proud of you.
Well, so far I've cleaned lots of bits. And it's been, what, 2 hours? That's a bit rubbish. Now I'm going to stick... So I've got one left bit to clean. Oh. Do you know? If you're going to do a job...
You don't half a job again?
I am. Like I always say, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to get someone else to do it properly. It's always the best way. When I'm involved, it's always the best way. Just get someone else to do it. I'm going to open my window because it's exceptionally warm in here.
Yeah, I've got mine wide open, mate. It's as muggy as a muggy thing, isn't it?
There we go. And all the insects in the world.
I thought you had your what's his name screen up.
Yeah, they always seem to find a way in. Or they come through it when they're tiny molecular size and then grow into something the size of a cat.
Yeah, right. It's a microdot, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a mosquito the other day and I swear it was the size of a cat.
Yeah. It's when the insect moves the bed out of the way so it can walk around. It's like, yeah.
It's like, I'm not saying this mosquito was big, but I was able to catch it and throw it out. That's how big it was.
Really?
Yeah. And get this, right? I've begun slowly perfecting the art of actually catching flies to throw them out.
Oh, you're good, you are.
It is possible. It is entirely possible. You just have to go very, very slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's the way their eyes work.
Yep.
Look at us doing science.
I know. Ooh. Optical biology.
Yeah.
Now I'm really I'm I'm in like barefooted at the minute, so
Yeah.
I open the window and all the cold air goes onto the floor, which is quite nice. But now my feet are really cold. Do 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 do. This week, do you know what I learned this week?
I thought you were going to do this weekend. I've mostly been eating. Yeah.
This week on Supernatural. This week on Stargate SG-1. I've learned this week that it takes about 15 hours to transfer about 2 terabytes of data
Yeah.
from external hard drives to 2 external SSDs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm
Via
so
USB 3.
impressed because you've been doing all these manly computer things all by yourself.
Yeah. Well, I've basically got my entire Xbox 360 game library from my Xbox 360, my modded Xbox, on 2 hard drives, 2 external HDDs that came with it, with like about 1.5 terabytes on each. Because the Xbox can't see a drive, they can't recognise more than 2 terabytes of a FAT32 drive. So there's no point having I got myself a 4 terabyte hard drive, but there's no SSD. But there's no point, so I put that and do other stuff with that. So I've got 2 terabyte ones. And I thought, right, well, I want to make backups of all the games, because if these hard drives break, as they will, because they're like no-name hard drives, I'll lose all the games in the world. So I want to back them up onto SSD, but also the SSD will be a bit faster, even though it's only USB 2. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll start the transfer on the computer from one drive to the other, just to copy it across. And I'll play a little game while I'm, for an hour, because I've transferred stuff from SSD to SSD and it takes about half an hour. So I'm like, yeah, it'll take about a couple of hours maybe at the worst. I'll play something or other while I'll do some work, or I'll do something. No. I started one at like 9 o'clock, I think, on Thursday night, and I was like, I have to go to bed now. I just went to bed and left it running. I was like, oh, God.
He was messaging me going, why did I start this?
Yeah.
It ain't finished yet. I'm like, just leave it plugged in and go to bed.
Yeah, basically. But then I couldn't sleep because I could hear the fans on the computer.
You could hear it going, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm just going to have to and then I thought it could finish in 2 minutes, but if I fall asleep, I want to turn it off as soon as it's finished, so I didn't get much sleep. I'm going to glue this back panel on.
Lesson learned. Do not attempt to do these things late at night.
Yeah, and it's weird because it was like, I was reading up on how all this stuff works, because it would go from like one megabyte per second to, or like, from like 200k transfer rate to like 50 meg to 150 meg, because it's a gigabit. It's a USB 3 connection.
Yeah, same as what.
And the SSD will be gigabit transfer, wouldn't it? So.
Oh yeah.
But of course, it's limited by the hard drive, which is made by, I don't know, somebody. So I was looking up, because it was like transfer will take about 2 hours. Then it was like, will take over a day. Wait, what? Oh, it took about an hour. What? No, about 48 hours. What? It kept changing, and the rate would go, and it was saying basically the rate is calculated each time you do a file. If it's a little tiny file, there's a load of them, it'll say, oh, this will be really fast, it'll take about an hour. But if it's got like suddenly get a big fat file, it'll slow everything down, and the transfer, because it's got to cache it all and then transfer it over. So I learned many things. And I've forgotten most of them, let's be honest.
We learn all the things, don't we, mate?
All the things I have learned in my brain.
Not just some of the things, but all the things.
All the things. So many things. I love the way they give you these hatches on the tank, but there's nothing inside the tank to see through the hatches.
Yeah.
There did used to be, if I remember rightly, I think Forge World actually used to make an interior thing for the Baneblade. I think. I could be wrong.
Right, yeah.
I know somebody somewhere, I've seen a resin interior set for the Baneblade. Yeah. But it's not realistic. It's just quite simple. It's just, see what's something
Wasn't there
inside,
an STL file available for it as well on one of their...
There's probably one of those, but this is before 3D printing. I've seen like a resin interior for it, and it's like, I wonder if that was ever a Forge World official.
Might have been.
Don't know. That came out when they moved it from resin to plastic, because the Baneblade used to be all resin.
Well, yeah, it was a Forge World only, wasn't it, when it first came out?
Yep.
Did you ever build one of those, the resin-only ones, or was it only afterwards that you got into it?
No, this came out in 2007. Well, about 2009 actually, because the date on the sprue is normally 1 or 2 years before they come out. So this was long in production in plastic by the time I got into Warhammer.
Yeah.
So I never had the pleasure.
Angus Allen says it's the 4th of May in Australia. May the 4th be
May the
with
4th
you.
be with you. Yeah. Oh, that means it's... that's tomorrow. Oh, they'll be all of the Star Wars stuff. Yeah. There might be a new Star Wars series on Disney. You can ignore this bit of the conversation, Cole. There might be the new series on Disney. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The little series of short stories made by various different people, one of which is made by Aardman. I can't wait to watch that. Aardman Animation doing a Star Wars short. Oh, I'll have some of that. Let's get all the bits out that I need to stick on the hull. We've got the smoke.
Get your bits out, mate.
Get me bits out on the telly box. There you go.
Peter Davey says, and here in Germany, yes, because it's an hour ahead.
Yeah.
Bless you. And of course, we're forgetting, aren't we, with the clock, that some people may want to go to bed, so they might miss out on the draw. No, they won't, because it's a random comment picker, so no.
Yeah,
right, ignore that. Ignore that.
Make sure they watch.
You'll have to watch it back, though, so, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I should do it the normal way that we do it, which is the random comment picker, folks, so that you can all see that it's fairly done.
Yep. Comment picker of randomness. It's always the best way to be. I hate smoke launchers. I don't know why. I just hate them. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I always get to the sponsons and I go, oh, I don't like building the sponsons.
Why is that? I don't mind doing them because there's not a lot to them.
I don't know. There's nothing wrong. They're simple to build and they go together like a dream. It's just my brain goes, oh, it's the sponsons. I don't know why. It's just my enthusiasm. I think it's by that point I've built everything else. And it's like, I've got a big tank here. I need to paint it.
Yeah, again, you don't enjoy the buildy stage at all, do you? You never have done.
Well, I do, but not massively. But I think it's like Gunpla weapons fatigue. You've built the nice fancy mobile suit, and now you've got to build just a simple rifle. It's like, I want to paint it now. But the one thing I do hate is cleaning up all the mold lines on the smoke launchers. For the people who are watching, that's a smoke launcher.
Yeah.
It could be a grenade launcher, but I think it's a smoke launcher unit or whatever. Anyway, it's I hate just demold lines. I don't know why. They just annoy me. And I made the terrible mistake once of making them and drilling them out if it was a grenade launcher. And then I thought, no, it's a smoke launcher. They've got a cap on them, you spoon.
Yeah.
And it's easier to paint it with the cap on. They'd have to drill them out. You spoon.
Best one I've ever seen. Boo-boos like that was a bloke did the General Lee car, the Dodge Charger.
With the door open?
Yeah, he opened all the doors. Yeah. So I sort of said to him, have you watched the TV show? Vaguely, he says. I said, I don't quite know how to say this. You've done a wonderful job. I said, but doors were welded shut, mate. Oh, damn it, he went. I said, it's all right, don't worry about it. I said, it can be someone who's converted their own car.
You've just put wheels on the Shan horse. There you go.
Yeah. And he was like, oh, gutted. I said, don't worry about it. I said, but, yeah. Because he was posting it in all the groups, and I thought, better to come from me in my group than someone who's really snarky. And, yeah. Yeah, he was quite annoyed with himself. So don't worry about it. Just close the doors and take some new photos. Just do a photograph it with the door shut. No one needs to know that you've opened them then, do they?
I did wonder why they had the doors welded shut on the General thing. I never understood the point of that. Because, have you ever tried getting in a car through the window? It's immensely pain in the bum.
Yeah, it was basically to do with the racing scene, isn't it? All the cars there have the doors welded shut. Makes the body shell structurally more rigid, and also with the internal roll cage and that, it is difficult to get in and out anyway, so you tend to climb in.
Yeah, that's true.
So it comes from the old NASCAR straight street racer scene, doesn't it? So
That will make sense then.
And not only that, we got to see Daisy Duke climbing in and out the General Lee,
Well,
which was many
yeah.
blokes back then still paused the video recorder, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. If they had 50-inch TVs in those days, they would have sold like hotcakes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, mate.
Definitely. Oops. I'm just going to go over the trim on these headlights where I carved all the mould lines off.
Oh, right,
with a
yeah.
damp extra thin brush just to smooth off any scratches that I've got on there from my knife.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but you can clean up the bits just by going over it with a bit of extra thin on a brush.
Yep. It'll look terrible until you prime it because it's all so shiny.
Yeah.
But if you've got like some scratch marks from sanding or anything like that, and or you've just scraped a mould line off and it's a bit scruffy looking, just dampen your brush with some extra thin and run it over. And if it's a very fine mould line, some mould lines you can actually get rid of with that.
Oh, yeah.
Mould line, talking about my mould line.
Get mould lines here.
Oh, I've just discovered there will be a bit of custom plastic cardery I need to do on this one.
Oh, really?
I forgot there's a spare wheel, isn't there? There's a spare road wheel.
Yeah.
I like to stick mine there on the front.
Yeah.
But it's not going to it doesn't just magically sit on the front of the tank.
No, you get to put your thing of spare wilderness.
It needs ensconcement.
Yeah, I didn't bother with mine because I've got the panels on the front on this little front section, so it wasn't naked.
The panels.
So time the guns go on there. I did see what you did there. I am really proud of you for that.
Were you whelmed or underwhelmed?
Mildly underwhelmed, but I'm becoming more and more whelmed.
I'm pretty sure that whelmed isn't actually a standalone word, you know, which is weird if underwhelmed and overwhelmed are.
MP
says,
Plastics saying hello, everyone. Hello, mate. How you doing? From Portugal, I do believe, from memory. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Mm-hmm. Good evening. Welcome. Oops. Lumpy, lumpy bang. I'm going to hold that in place because it's a little bit wonky. I shall have a look at chat.
He does.
Although I think you've just got up to date, haven't you?
Yeah, MP's in. Yeah.
We've got some more headphones now, headstones. Alt F4 window shutting down. Alt F4 was always a good one if you ever play a video game on PC. I used to play Medal of Honor Allied Assault.
Yeah. Windows update 35%.
Do not shut down.
Yeah.
I used to play Medal of Honor Allied Assault for a little while on online on PC back in the day. And people say, "Oh, mate, I've got lag." I'm like, "Yeah, just do Alt F4. That'll fix it. Control Alt Delete. That'll fix it." Wait, no.
Yeah, the free knuckle shuffle.
ECIDO says, we put 42 on my father's headstone. Now you see a little bit of Douglas Adams.
Oh, good man.
Yep. Don't touch my stuff, Retrobit says.
Robin says he's got to go to bed now. He's up early for work tomorrow. He says, hopefully I'll win the Baneblade later. No worries, mate.
Yep. Andy McLeish does a little bit of a Metal Gear one and says, fish and mailed. I get that. Colonel, what? Fish and mail, Snake. B3 says, I also shouldn't have had banana and Nutella poffertjes. Poffertjes. It's a Dutch thing. Poffertjes while I was there, and copious amounts of Heineken, but when in Amsterdam, as no one says.
Absolutely.
I doubt anyone would allow it, as the coffin will get cremated and the fumes would be toxic, but I'd love to kit mash my coffin as if it was a giant spaceship.
Oh, that would be mint.
Obviously, before you dropped off the twig would be ideal.
Yeah.
You could make it out of wood.
That's why he's got all them greebles, isn't it?
Yeah. And Angus says, like a Star Destroyer with the Empire music playing. And
He said, I'd also like to hire a bloke to run in halfway through wearing my clothes, brandishing a sonic screwdriver, saying, right, I can explain this.
Yeah.
Just got in from work. Have I missed the competition draw, says Rob. No, not yet. We'll do it towards the end. Tomorrow is Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you, says Paul. Yes, may the 4th be with you. It's 4th of May in Australia, says Angus. G'day, bro. And here in Germany, says Peter. Yeah, das ist richtig. I bought a Lego 20th anniversary snowspeeder recently that needs building, says Angus. You need to
nice
build
one.
Andy McLeish says, it's so random, it randomly ignores my existence, but I don't know what he's talking about because I was ignoring the previous comment. So. You see what I did there?
I did see what you did there, mate.
And MP Model Plastic says, good evening for everyone.
Hello, MP. How you doing, mate?
Welcome, welcome. Right, I think that ladder is now suitably englued. Give us some beatbox, Carl. Help us pass the time with a little bit of beatbox. Go on.
Nice try. I'll give you that.
Go on. Do it. Go on. You know you want to. Go on. Do it.
No.
People in chat, do you want to hear Festa do beatbox?
You can try as much as you want. I see what you're doing.
If you want Festa to do some beatbox, type yes in the chat. There's no other option. Just do that. Go on. I've got to make a little rack for my piece of track as well, actually. Right, it's time for super glue and plastic card.
You can do this.
It's a bit like Penguin Cafe's telephone and rubber band, but less Australian.
Orcasaurus says it's time to go and cook his dinner. Catch you later. No worries, mate. You take care, mate.
In my head, I've got Dorcasaurus, can he fix it?
We'll be doing the draw in about half an hour, 40 minutes, in case you needed an heads up, Dorks.
Yeah. Heads up, Dorks sounds painful. I need to get some more plastic cards. Now we have the challenge of cutting an equal. The hell was I working on there when I cut that out?
I don't know.
I've somehow managed to cut a really nice, perfect circle. And I don't even know how I cut that out. How did I was
going to say, it couldn't have been using your circle cutter.
No, how did I cut that out? I've got no idea.
I don't know, dear.
I don't even know what that was from. That's weird. Somebody been using my plastic card when I've been looking.
Perhaps your mum did it.
Nah. Now I've got to now cut some strips of plastic card that are all equal width all the way along, and for some reason that's really, really hard. I find it really difficult. They always end up wider at one end than the other. It is the order of things. Okay, gentlemen, let us begin.
Yeah, gentlemen, start your engines.
I don't know what that noise was. It was nonsense, that's what it was. Right, I'm mostly off camera, so I do apologise, but there you go, I'll move the camera a bit, then why not? Hooray! Probably out of focus.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. See how that's coming on.
Do you know, so many people seem to, they always say, oh, live streaming's so easy, and I always found that so adorable.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be a pain at times, but it is very rewarding.
Oh yeah, but you always know somebody who doesn't live stream because they say, "Oh, it's that easy. Just turn the camera on and go." Yeah, well done, Ace.
It's when you get someone that is obviously a real expert. I'm using the word Tom loosely,
in perverted commas,
and they're giving you the most unhelpful guidance imaginable, and it's like, yeah, you've never done a live stream, have you?
Yeah.
We've all seen it, we've all been through it, and you're like, yeah. Always makes me giggle, that one.
Oh yeah. You don't want to do that. Okay, let me go and watch your live streams. Oh look, no.
Oh yeah. It's like when you get the Rivet counters. It's like, well, I've just been on your channel and I've looked through your massive content library and I can't see the video on how you do that. It's because they got no content in it. It's like, yeah.
Dear points of view, imagine my surprise when I find no videos on that channel.
Yeah.
Dear, that's life.
Yeah, rivet counters. Now, there's a good subject. We've all been rivet counted. In the chat, what's your best rivet count you've had on one of your builds?
And what's your best, without swearing, best response?
Yeah.
Have you best put down a rivet counter without swearing, please, because it's a family-friendly show.
Yeah, absolutely. Perhaps this is a conversation we should do on the Frolic show then.
Yeah, just thinking is like, maybe not the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to engage the chat, mate. You know what I mean? But hey,
I don't actually think. I don't think I've actually ever been rivet counted, to be perfectly honest.
Cool, I'll cut you. Mind you, you are a guru.
Well, I think it's more just because I do stuff that you can't really rivet count.
I thought that until I got rivet counted on my cat build.
Well, yeah, but that's
Star Wars. That was the one.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's Star Wars. That's different. You're always going to get people who don't quite get the joke.
Yeah, and it was, yeah.
See, that's different because that's nerds.
It was nothing to do with the subject, mate.
That was a different kind of rivet counting because that's nerds and that's different.
Yeah, but it wasn't anything to do with it being Star Wars, mate.
Was it not? Oh, right, okay.
No.
Interesting.
That's what I was trying to say to you. It was nothing to do with the context. Actually, the Star Wars community embraced that project.
Yeah.
The rivet count was totally away, and it was actually a Star Wars person that jumped in and went, really? Yeah. Oh, yeah, it had nothing to do with it being a Star Wars build done as a what if, none of that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I can't go into too much detail because it's an eModels stream. So
I don't think. I mean, I've had the occasional.
And it was actually the eModels cat build that was rivet counted. Yeah,
I've just remembered. Actually, I did have one. It was a couple of weeks ago.
All right.
Somebody put a comment
even the guru gets rivet counted, folks.
Well, this was a Star Wars one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, somebody put a comment on one of Millennium Falcon builds, and you've got all the pipe work on the hull.
Yeah, I think you told me this one, but yeah, let the audience know. Yeah.
There's a couple of places on the hull where, as you know, on the Millennium Falcon, you've got these few panels here and there that are like red or yellow, different colour panels.
Yeah.
And there's a few places on the hull, notably one on one of the mandible, where the white pipes, darn it, the white pipes actually go over. They start off on a bit of white hull, and then there's a red panel underneath.
Yeah.
So they cross over the red panel. And this person came onto my comments on my video, and they put this big, long, and I mean like several paragraphs,
Oh, nice.
It really was War and Peace. Several paragraphs explaining that the coloured panels are supposed to signify where they've replaced the panel and this, that, and the other. Because I'd put the pipes down. What I'd done is I built the ship.
Yeah.
There's your bit of hull. Right. And then I put the pipes. You put the pipes over the top, like that. You got the pipes that go over like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd put the decal over the top, or if you were painting it, you just mask off the panel and you'd paint the red bit.
Yeah.
And I got this. He explained in many, many paragraphs how that wasn't accurate, because the red bit is supposed to be a panel where they've had to replace that piece of the hull, so it'd be from a different ship. That's why it's a different colour. So they wouldn't replace the pipes; they just replace the panel. So the pipes should be white, and the panel underneath should be. And it was like big, and I mean many paragraphs.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Someone needs to go and get a life.
So my response was 2 words and a link.
Studio model?
The 2 words were studio model, and the link was a photograph to that exact panel on the studio model, where it had a red panel with the pipes that go red wherever the panel. White pipes that go red over. And it's like, yeah, you're thinking about it too much, dear. Just go and have a cup of tea.
Yeah, it's like, come on, you know.
Go and have a nice cup of tea. But it's like paragraphs and my entire response was studio model with a picture.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was
It's
like,
one
really?
of those. You realise you've made it when you first get a rivet count.
Yeah.
You know, and some of them, don't get me wrong, have been really constructively done. And then you sit there and you think, actually, they have got a point. But I kind of don't care because I build for me, not for accuracy or, you know, I'm not trying to do a period accurate representation of anything. It's just me building that. It's, you know, but some people get so literal about it, don't they, that it's life or death. And it's like, dude, it's a 35th scale plastic tank. Get over yourself.
Yeah.
But they don't. They want to pursue it. And that's the ones that always make me laugh. They want to continue the argument mid-rivet count. And I'm like, why? You know, they like, you don't seem bothered. Well, I'm not. Why? Because it's in my house, on my shelf, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and I'm happy with it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and
Good night, Vienna.
they don't get it. Oh, well, I think, well, build one of your own.
Yeah.
You know, I've looked on your channel. I can't see your build of it. So, you know, well, I won't sub to you then. Well, fine, cancel it. I don't mind. Tell her.
Oh, let me just
I had
abandon
that
my
with the
entire
bus.
channel.
I've got to cancel my subscriber thing then. I'll do so. But at the end of the day, it's a plastic model.
Yeah. It's like, do you complain? Would you complain to Rembrandt? Would you complain to Van Gogh that that's not really what the sky looks like?
Yeah. Or
Would you
Picasso,
complain to?
that's not what a face looks like. Yeah.
That's not how. That's not what a guitar looks like.
Yeah. So, yeah, it can be quite intriguing when they really want to go to war with you, and it's like, why? It shouldn't matter.
No, I mean, I've been fairly lucky, and as I say, most of the stuff I build is, you know, it's sci-fi made up nonsense. So you can't really. There's not a lot of nitpicking to be done with. Like, that doesn't look like a real, you know, Zaku. What?
Yeah.
You're comparing it to a 1970s two-dimensional flat colour and ink outline drawing. It's not really going to work, is it?
Yeah. Rabbit says, whatever, I do what I want is his response. Absolutely. My London bus is my most rivet counted build. A lot of you probably know the story anyway, but this guy basically got in touch, and it was, I used to go on one of these buses, and I can't ever remember seeing an AC/DC poster. So me being me, I said, well, you have now. Thinking that would be the end of it.
Naively thinking.
Oh, no. And I was new to YouTube back then. And me with my sense with my sense of humour, I thought, you know, oh no, this person wasn't going to stop. He wanted to go on and on, and I said, look, at the end of the day, you're missing the point. Episode 1, first video, I build this not as an accurate vehicle. It is going to have my favourite movies, my favourite bands. End of. That's it. I said, at no point did I say this was an accurate representation of this particular bus. I said, get over yourself, mate.
Yep.
Well, I demand you change it. That was the one that got me. And I said, who are you to demand what I do? I said, tell you what, if you know this particular area, I said, come and demand it on my doorstep. Yeah. And it was like, what the hell was that all about?
I know. I demand that you change it. I'm sorry. Why?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah. You know, Oh, I was like, really? Get over yourself, man. Yeah. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't comprehend that someone had got such a... I can't say the word. A bee in their bonnet even, over a plastic model kit. It was my awakening to YouTube. Me and you hadn't long met. You know, didn't really know each other as well as we do now, but I think you was one of the people that was, you got to have a really thick skin for YouTube, mate, because these people are out there. Yep. Totally blew me away.
They're like the train spotters of the model world, really.
Yeah, I think I had just started my first eModels build when that happened. If I remember right, it might have been the cat build for Peter.
Yep.
And it was like, how about this for a rivet count? because Tony Fairclough pre-warned me. He said, when you get your first rivet count, he said it can be soul destroyed. He said, but you just need to...
I've glued my drill bit into my super glue bottle.
Oh, you haven't?
Yep.
Oh, you utter spud.
Yeah, it's come out now. There you go. I was trying to clear the nozzle out.
And I cleaned that up as well, folks.
You did.
Rather well, I thought.
That was rather. I must remember next time, don't stick the knurled end down, stick the clean end.
Oh, you utter spoon, you.
Well, I like to try and clear the nozzle out so it doesn't get all full of crud next time I open it up.
Angus Allett says, sounds like my clients. Out of interest, Angus, what do you do then, mate? As a job? Yeah. I mean, we had this discussion long ago when it came to why we no longer do commission work, wasn't it? And
it's far too stressful.
It is, and a lot of people go for it. They're like, they see it as a badge of honour or bragging rights. I've got a commission build, and it's like, yeah, you won't be saying that in a few months.
Yeah, you won't be saying that when you mess it up and you have to go and buy the kit out of your own pocket because you made a mistake.
Yeah.
And you can't give that model that you're in the middle of working to the client.
Yeah.
Or it's the sixth one of those that you built and you really don't ever want to build one ever again, and you have to.
Yeah. And it's a build subject that you've got no interest in, and you've got to give it your heart, soul, and dedication. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, it does sap you. It really does.
I mean, I've told the story before and people know it, but I was building a Gundam Heavy Arms as a commission.
Yeah.
And I was quite a good commission to start with. And I finished the Gundam and I was really happy with it. And then I rolled my chair back and accidentally rolled it over the tiny little figure who is just an extra. He's not even part of the, he's not the pilot. He's just like an extra figure you can have sat on the base.
Yeah.
And I crushed it with my chair. So I had to basically, out of my own pocket, buy that whole £50 model again.
Just for that plastic figure? Just
for the little figure who's about as big as your thumbnail.
Yeah.
It was a 100th scale figure. That was fun.
Yeah.
I was like, woohoo, I'm really glad I had to spend £50 on that.
But it's funny, isn't it? Because you think it's the one detail that the client wouldn't want. But no, you can bet your bottom dollar. The one thing they ask you to do is the one thing that is missing from the kit. Yeah. Or they'll ask you to do their visionary paint job. This is what I want. This is my vision. And you're inwardly going, yeah.
I had a request like that, and I had to make a Gundam. The kit was a nightmare. And the colour scheme I had to do for it was not exactly brilliant, but hey, what do you want? I'd never showed it. It was a private thing, but it was like, I didn't want to make the kit because it was horrible. I didn't want to do the colour scheme, but it was money and I couldn't turn it down.
Absolutely.
And then just when I finished it and I was like, right, finally, it was like, I can't afford it now, I have to bail out. And I'm like, brilliant. So now I've got this crappy Gundam that no one likes, this particular one, in a colour scheme that would give anybody just like a seizure, that nobody's going to want to pay money for, and I'm just stuck here with it because you suddenly don't want it. I sold it in the end on eBay, but it's like...
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it, where you never do a commission without a deposit.
Always
the amount of people I have come across that have done it where they've gone out, they bought the kit, the paint, and then the person's bailed, and it's like...
Thanks for that. Cheers, love. Yes. No, so it's one of those things, it's...
Jocaro Jim says, what is your favourite Baneblade variant? Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, I've only ever built the good old Baneblade itself, or which one have I built? I've built a few of them, and they've always been Baneblades. Or what was the one I did? I've forgotten which one it was now. I built the Shadow Sword that you're doing now.
Yeah, I like the Shadow Sword because I like the paint scheme on the box art, and it's...
Was it the Shadow Sword or was it the Bane Sword?
I've done the Baneblade up there, the Insane Blade, but that was such a unique way of doing it. So
I'm struggling to see the difference between the Bane sword and the Shadow sword.
it's the gun.
Call me Stu.
The gun and the bit on the back.
Oh, yes. In that case, I did the Bane sword.
Yeah.
But I quite just like the good old standard Baneblade. It's just got that proper like Panzer look to it.
I mean, I haven't
Big
built
dirty
as many
Panzer.
of them as you, so literally I did the insane one and this one, so...
Yeah. Your favourite would be the Insane Blade because it's all of them.
Yeah, pretty much every single Baneblade in one, isn't it? But
Yeah. Which is your favourite Baneblade? All of them. I said it Baneblade, didn't I?
you did. It's one of those. It's such a quirky build, and bear in mind that was my second ever Warhammer build, and everything now has been trying to compete with it, and it's like
I'm not having a good super glue day today.
what's yours? What's your favourite Baneblade, Jim?
Yeah.
Do you have one?
The free one, if you win it, would be my favourite.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
We are doing a giveaway today, if you didn't know. So that's not gluing at all, is it? Come on.
Yeah.
So make sure you put in the comments on last week's video, not this week's, last week's video, what your Baneblade name would be. If you had one out on the battlefield, what would your name on the side?
Yeah,
be?
what would you call it?
Yep. Because you get the nameplate on the side, don't you? So. Doobie-doobie-doobie-doo. There's a bit of a shonky build there with that bit, but it'll do.
I roll a shonky build.
Shonky build. There you go. So there's a bit of a thing for my Baneblade for the wheel. I'll put some rivets on the end of that to make it look more like it's meant to be there.
Oh, I'm proud of you and your scratch building prowess, soldier.
It's next to Steve. I'm just a microorganism.
Yeah, but I think Steve's even welling up at that, going, oh, look at him. He's grown up so quick.
And I did all of it off camera, which is brilliant because I'm so special. But mother, let's try that again, shall we? Now I've got to do it over the piece of track, and track's not as easy, unfortunately. This bit is a bit of a pain. Put that over there. This bit can be challenging. Right, so that needs to go on there. Why don't I do it that way around and then it makes more sense logically? Okay, that will do. So I'm basically doing the same again, making a frame into which this piece of track would sit. Give it a little cocktail stick. If it was like on the side of the hull, they don't just magically stick to the side of the tank.
No.
You have to have things in place. I actually saw a photograph of a tank the other day. And imagine my squee of happiness when I realised it had a little thing holding the wheel on the front, just like the one I make, or very similar to the one I make, which I just made up in my brain. And yeah, it was very similar to that thing that I just made for the wheel. I was like, ooh, squee! I got something right in my brain somehow.
Oh, you go careful.
I know.
Do you know, I'm really proud of you, you know. They grow up so quick.
Do you know what I realised the other day?
What's that?
The brain is the most important organ in the human body, according to the brain.
All right.
Think about it. Think about it. Not so innocent as we were led to believe, huh? Brain. Now, the reason I'm doing this with CA glue and not regular glue is you can do this with regular glue, but because I'm bending this plastic card around the track and the wheel, I need it to stick quickly. I need it to get on there and stick. And if you do this with regular plastic cement, you'd have to hold it there for ages and let it bind and then move it. Because if you start bending, if you use plastic glue and I bent that there, that would just ping up. So
yeah,
I've always used CA glue for this kind of process, just because it just guarantees things will stick and you can manipulate them. Because you've only got real tiny points of contact. So I can do that, push that on there, not glue my finger to it if I'm lucky. Get a bit of kicker.
Hey.
Oh, that's a kicker. You see what I did there?
I did see what you did.
You like that, don't you? You like that?
You like that?
Now what I shall do is I shall trim this so it just sits flush with that bit of the track, and then when it glues to the side of the hole, it'll just be this point of contact. So I'll do the same on that side. So if you are doing anything where you want to form a piece of plastic plard to your Baneblade.
Plastic plard?
Ridiculous now. Plastic plard to your Baneblade. Or was it Babe?
Babe, yeah.
Then use super glue, CA glue, and kicker. It just makes your life a lot easier. Otherwise, you have to stick it on, wait for, ever. And then, when you bend it, it's not going to ping off straight away. If you're just putting a piece on flat on a surface, you're not going to be stretching anyway. You don't need to do CA glue. You can do normal regular cement. But for this, you need to make sure you use CA. Because it works super fast. Like that, you see? Lovely, lovely, done.
Uber fast.
Lovely fast velocity. What are you doing? Pumping noises.
I'm cleaning me cutting mat, mate, because time's getting on.
Oh, what time is it?
1:45 nearly.
Yeah, 1:45. Well, I've nearly finished these now.
Yeah.
Time is getting on. I didn't realise we'd had 3 hours already.
Yeah.
Blimey, Riley.
I like to just have a quick clean up once I've stopped for the day. Just gets rid of all my scud.
You're a girl like that once.
Put that there for now.
Oh, no, I'm doing that the wrong way around. There we go. Other way around your spoon. Nearly did that the wrong way around. Oh, dear mother.
Yeah. All these wonderful people will be sitting there wondering who's won, see? So.
Oh, yeah, good point. Right, let me get this glued on. Take me 2 seconds.
No, you carry on, mate, because I'm just setting up bits and pieces. If you haven't commented, folks, nip over, load up last week's video, and you'll get the chance to put a comment on there. When I last looked, there was only 25 comments. I'm just doing a quick refresh. I think there's more than 25
people.
Yeah, I'm doing a quick refresh now because that was at the beginning of the stream. And there are still 25 comments, folks.
Wow.
So you've got to be in it.
It's a free Baneblade. Why would you not want a free Baneblade?
Yeah, you've got to be in it to win it, peeps.
To win it. And don't say, oh, I never win these things, because if you say that, then you won't.
Exactly. So you've still got time. I'll add it to the stream so that you can see. There's only 25 comments so far, folks. So if you want to win it, bung a comment in.
And it just needs to be the name of your Baneblade.
Yeah, exactly that. So thank you again to folks at eModels for making that possible.
Right, there you go. That's that rack done for that. I've got some rivets on them, but
excuse me, I needed that. B3 says nothing more hilarious than someone takes umbrage with me doing what I do with kit or kits that I pay for. His enjoyment is doing what I want. It's nice to get an opinion, but it's for me. He put an X-Wing front on the Star Fury, and some people went mad over it.
Good lad.
Do you know what that kit cost, you heretic? Yes, of course. I bought it 20 odd years ago. In fact, I bought 2, so yeah. Absolutely B3. I had it when for a joke. Oh, Dave's in. For a joke, Fox on one of the streams said, "Oh, wouldn't it be good to do your WAS bomb as an X-wing?" Hold up, I'll wait for him to stop sorting. Go on.
Sorry, I didn't realise it was that loud. My microphone's
yeah, it is. It's very loud. You carry on.
No, go on, I'm done now.
Yeah, he wanted me to put an X-wing or additional wings on it, and he said, "Oh, either do that or a biplane." So I did it as the X-wing, and someone was like, "Oh, I can't believe you did that to a WAS bomb," and I'm like, "Look, it's on my shelf, mate. You know, yeah. And you know." But yeah. Docosaurus says, "I am back. Country-style ribs are in the oven."
Ooh.
Oh.
What does that mean? What are country-style ribs?
Yeah, road trip, the Dorkosaurus
Is that American country-style?
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
EC says, I made a World War II RAF Night Fighter X-Wing. I see a wonderful piece. I've actually got the kit myself, and it's the 3 ships out of Star Trek, and they all meet together. And a guy, he did one as RAF, one as Luftwaffe, and the other one as the Japanese thing. And he posted it in my group, the Boomer, and other groups. And he got absolutely pilloried in one of the groups by someone who just did not like what he had done. And it's like, dude,
failure imagination.
Look at the creativity. Look at the workmanship.
Yeah.
You know, but people don't. EC says very cool. Yeah, it's getting there, EC. I thought I'd have got a lot more done than I have, but it's really subtle rust tones that I want. And I need to get another pot of Rhinoxide because I've just run out. So I can go back over with the darker paint. So I'll do a paint order over the next couple of days. And get that sorted because I'll have them then for next week. So
right, I'm nearly done.
That was the primed side, which was very red oxide. We've now got that going on where we've got...
I'll put you full screen, mate. Hang on.
We've got some different rust tones coming through. I've not bothered with this because this is going to be a lot of metals and a lot of different stuff, but it's just different tonal changes.
Yep.
So hopefully they're coming out. There's quite a few different colours on there, but me lights are quite bright, so... Yeah,
it'll really start to come alive once you get the base coat on. And then once you get like little metallic glints on corners and things like that, and it'll just start to look like metal. Then
that's too dark, but
really come nicely then.
So that's what I've been up to on that one. So,
right, I finished my extra bits.
Go for it.
I've got the spare wheel with the holding rack, and I've got a piece of track which will go on the side of the turret.
Oh, look at that.
That's it.
Proud of you, mate.
And what I've basically done today is I've done very little because I've basically just stuck like a couple of panels on and the smoke launchers and the headlights. It's mostly been the exhaust. It's mostly been clean up today for me.
Yeah, but it's them greeble stage. But, at the end of the day, mate...
You know me. I'm super slow.
No, it's all part of the building process, mate.
See, that'll go on there like that. And it'll look like it's actually in that rack.
Yeah.
Rather than just magically floating on the front of the tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I like what you've done there, mate. It's looking mint, mate.
Yours is looking awesome. I love that rusty.
It's getting there,
It's started to cohere, isn't it? Come together.
Yeah. Like I say, I had to thin down my Mornfang and it was just getting a bit too thin. So fresh pot of that and I can, probably get some more different browns as well. I'm limited by my brown range at the moment. So
yeah. And it'll really be accented once you've got the top coat on everything else.
Yes.
When you then start putting more rust effects on, it'll rust around the edges where it's painted over, and it'll be like you'll see the leaching effect.
The base coat on this going over is going to be a white or an off-white. So it is. That's why I didn't want to go too dark with the rust, because against the white it would look black.
Yeah. I mean, it will impart a little warmth through the white, which will work nicely because it'll just have that. There's something going on under the white paint thing, which is kind of nice.
So, that's what we've been up to. But, hopefully you like the direction we're going. I suppose, then...
Yes.
It's that time.
Let's do this.
So, let's bung that... Go on.
I was going to say, if you haven't done it already, folks, you're going to be out of time in a second, because if you haven't put your comment on last week's video, then you're screwed.
I'm going to do a refresh. This is last week's video, 7 days ago, as you can see, nice and clear.
Mm-hmm.
And get rid of the advert.
Well, look, a game by a developer you've never heard of. It's going to be terrible.
And that's us two there. And we have still got 25 comments. We've got B3 Vorpal Blade, assuming they still read Lewis Carroll in the 40k universe. He says, I'll make no apologies for what I'll do with it if I win.
We know what you'll do with it if you win. It won't be a Baneblade when you get it. We said that before you came in.
AJ's got Banesaurus Maximus, the beast that never stops.
The never stops beast.
Panzercat says Fox Waffle. My choice of tag name.
I don't know if the nameplate's long enough for that, but it's worth a go.
Retro says Burp, the Doom Turtle. Angus says Orcsbane with an H. See what he did there.
Yeah.
Bobbinator. The Bobbin says the Kaboominator.
Kaboominator.
So we've got 25 rather glorious comments there, folks. So I'm going to copy.
I can't believe nobody's put the Super Bonker 9000 or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm going to copy that into the random YouTube comment picker of Pickiness. There's the video link. Pasty Kins. What do we do? Filter duplicate users, isn't it?
Yep, just take dupes out and that's it, I think.
Solve sum, yeah.
3 plus 8 equals numbers.
Get the
numbers.
YouTube comments.
Numbers scare me. Good luck, everybody.
Comments is now 33, folks.
Ooh, there've been a few in the last few minutes then.
Yeah.
Everybody's suddenly gone, oh crap.
So we're about to hit the magic start button. Do you want to do a drum roll?
Good luck, everybody. Fingers crossed. Here's to the best person winning. Have fun with it. And
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Beatbox drum roll coming. Bing, there you go. The winner is Max McGinn. Fortress of Arrogance. There you
Which
go.
is actually a canon name for a Baneblade because it's Commissar Yarek's tank personal Baneblade. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. So, Max, congratulations, mate. You have won yourself a Baneblade, mate. So I will add that to the comment under the video and get in touch with you, mate.
Yeah.
What's he got to do? Has he got to do an eModels, head to eModels thing, or just message us to?
Yeah, do it. Message one of us to him. Because we'll need to mail James anyway. Yeah, just send a message to one of us to him. We'll let James know.
There you go.
With your name, address, and phone number. We'll need your phone number as well for shipping. So name, address, and phone number.
Absolutely.
And send it to either me or Colin through the normal channels.
Yeah, get in touch, mate. You know how to get hold of us on the Facebooks and emails. The emails are on there in our channels and that, so you can get in touch through there.
If not, just mail ted@emodels.co.uk and I'll pick that up anyway. So
yeah,
I can pick that up and forward it on to James.
So yeah, he's won a Baneblade.
Well done, Max.
Get in there.
Is Max actually in chat? I don't know if he is.
I don't know because he'd probably at work, mate, in the morning.
Oh, that's true.
So yeah, well done to Max McGinn.
Jakero Jim says that his favourite tank is the Malkador. I agree, the Malkador's really cool. I like the Macarius. Oh, I made a Macarius Vanquisher. It's very nice.
There you go.
I made a Deathcore one. So well done to Max.
Happy days.
That'd be a lovely, lovely Baneblade. And don't forget, of course, we do expect you to send pictures. So James, mate, can put them on the eModels front page. You can send them to me or Colin and we'll send them on to James once you've made it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, don't just post on the eModels page because it'll disappear and nobody ever see it. So.
And I can imagine what he'll do with that because he does all these rust effects and all of that lot. So it'll be proper minted up.
It'll be bare metal with rust. Is it him that does all the Iron Legion with the bare metal look?
Yeah, it does all the dirty down rust and all of that lot and the hazard stripes. So, look forward to seeing that. And congratulations. And again, thanks to James and the crew at eModels for making that giveaway possible.
Yeah. Phil Lewis says, congrats. B3 says, well done. Well done, Max, says Panzer. JC says, congrats, Max. Congrats, Max, says Jeff. Everybody's saying congrats. I won't read them all out.
I may have used typey words as well because,
I heard it.
I know, I'm bad, didn't I?
Angus says, no Baney McBain face. Well, if you did you put a comment in, Angus? You could have
done. Baney McBain face, So,
Rabbit has some important information. He says, kebab was a bit too spicy. Be back in a few.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Jakero Jim says, I just commented. Well, you probably still in the draw. You might have been in time, but you didn't win, sadly. So
yeah,
better luck next time.
Happy days.
Who knows? They might give us more to give away. You never know.
You never know, mate. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Oh, Andy. He says, I never win nothing, me. Oh.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's run stuff a few times.
Hasn't he won on eModels before? Oh, no,
I'm sure he's got like a collection. I'm sure he's got a collection of eModels mugs and all kinds of swag going on there.
Yeah, he probably has. He probably has. But yeah, so you never know, mate. There may be more giveaways in the future. So keep tuning in, because the longer these shows go on, I'm sure eModels will be feeling generous, and you never know.
Yeah. I have an important news update from my end. Something just wiggled across my cutting board and under my tape dispenser.
Oh, really?
And I can't get to it now. It was too fast for me to see what it was.
That one of those 15-foot anaconda insects, was it?
I don't know. It was like that. And I was like, what?
Oh, dear. You know what? That's going to keep you awake now, isn't it, knowing that it's there?
It might have been a woodlouse, like a roly-poly. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I just
You can't argue with that, can you? But yeah.
I know it's not a vine weevil because they move really slow. You can just pick them up and throw them out.
Right. Was that an Uncle Weevil? See what I did?
I must do some more Uncle Weevy streams. Yes, I must.
Yeah, see what I did
Going,
there?
yes, you must
I knew
not.
you would say that. It's like, yeah, it's in.
Everybody's going, no, not more Uncle Weevy streams. I must do another Uncle Weevy stream.
Do
I really
it.
should do another.
I think do it. Why not? It's your channel. Do what you want.
I need to set it off going and then just leave it for like 6 hours and just come back to like a raft of people in chat just killing themselves and dying. Screaming and wailing and gnashing of teeth in chat.
Happy days.
That'd be funny.
Right, gang. Right. I suppose we should wrap up so that I can go and get something to eat and chill down.
Get yourself
and
rested and sat down for a bit.
all of that lot. So massive thanks for coming in and keeping me and Fox company. Congratulations, Max, on your win, mate. See, you've got to be in it to win it. And until the next time, we'll be back. Not this Monday for eModels, but Monday the 15th, folks. Bear that in mind, because it's the King's coronation weekend and a bank holiday. So,
Bank holiday. Woo!
So, so it'll be over on my channel on Monday for a bit of Monday Night Madness. Who knows what we're going to be building, but the big build is looming, folks. The really out there build is,
I'm looking over my room now at some things for that build.
I think we've excelled ourselves for stupidness on this one, mate.
Yeah, I think pretty much.
So
I don't know what you've got planned for yours, so I think it's going to be far more stupid than mine, which will just be a paint job, mostly. But
the saw is coming out, mate.
I can honestly tell everybody, you're never going to have seen anyone else do this that we're going to be doing. Not on YouTube, but anywhere. I
can categorically say to you now, I am going to get carried away.
Good lad. I would expect to.
The saw is coming out. There's going to be greebles. There's going to be 3D printed bits. It's going to be... Yeah, it's not going to look nothing like what it originally did. Yeah. See, mine will be a bit less. It'll be more just like a repaint for me. But I've got some work to do on one element of it that may or may not work, but I don't know yet. So mine will mostly be a repaint. I didn't think I would get into it, if you know what I mean. But I thought, fine, you've thrown the gauntlet down. You've done this. So I'm like, mate, you're getting extreme festiness, mate, on this bad boy. Yeah. I do know it could even get sent up to him. Yeah. Oh, dear Lord. So, so that's coming soon. Yeah. We're waiting for it to arrive. Yeah. And where is my such and such? Where is my specific item that I can't mention? You know what's going to happen with? I'm going to put it on the bench and we're going to go, what on earth have we done? We'll have immediate buyer's regret. Oh, Lynn Dipple's in and says, oops, this is what happens when you go on holiday. Congrats, Max. I just turned on TV and saw the show. Absolutely. Hey, everyone hugs. Absolutely. So on that note, we'll let Max dance a jig during the day. Ooh, he'll be at work going, I've won a Baneblade, I've won a Baneblade. I won a Baneblade, I won a Baneblade. So on that note, we'll catch you on the next one, folks, and we'll see you next Wednesday for another Workbench Live, folks. Take care, adios, everyone. Amoebas. See you soon. Bye. Bye.